Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
That's a pretty big podcast.
For you. KZ Excellent. And Mr. Feel.
Gambling, bet, roulette, A-set.
Here on GigaBoots.
So half of the power amulet that expands the storage in my PS5 has arrived. I have received the SSD part, but not the heatsink part.
You're making me think like it's an amulet in Diddy Kong Racing.
It's like
I was thinking of the Double Dragon movie where they have to like do the flamboyant putting the metals together and then they get really bad outfits.
Yes, that'll be my PS5. It'll just get a heinously bad looking outfit.
Great. The liquid metal Terminator will be there with a really horrible beard.
Oh shit, he's in that movie?
Yeah, he's the antagonist.
What? I didn't know. I only saw that movie once ever, and that was in the 90s.
I've never seen that movie.
It's horrible, but it's great.
It's bad.
It's terrible, but it's fantastic.
This is intense.
But it's not like Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter the movie terrible but fantastic.
Oh my god.
No, it's genuinely terrible, but it's amusing. It's genuinely amusing.
Posted to the antagonist in the Big Think Dimension channel.
That's insane, Phil. Hold on.
It's not okay.
No, hold on.
I need you to tell me you're lying and that is not him.
All right, let's.
No, that's
really him.
I can't deal with this.
But the beard is the worst ever. And then his bleached hair. God.
It's like evil NSYNC.
Yes.
And then you have like the heroic magician duo as the protagonists.
Yeah, they look real cool.
Yeah, they went to the rug store to buy their suits.
God. Yeah, it's been a really long time since I've seen that movie. Maybe it'll show up on one of our shows eventually.
I need to see it again because it's like a really transparent ripoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they like live in an abandoned movie theater.
Yes. Somehow even as a kid that came across. And I wasn't
not exactly subtle.
Yeah, I'm not the sharpest moviegoer when I'm like 6. But even still, I'm like, why is this blatantly that thing I love, but with idiots instead of turtles?
And cool facial hair.
I don't know. I didn't see Shredder's face. I didn't pay attention. Maybe he had a goatee growing under the mask.
SSDs are happening.
Yeah, I'm fucking glad. I'm really fucking glad because you could ask Bob. There have been so many times where I'm like, hey, we should play COD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a fucking chance. It takes up so much goddamn space, which is why every time someone floats the insane conspiracy theory of, no, they're making it huge on purpose. So that way it's really hard to download and it's a huge commitment to reinstall. And the thing on your mind at all times is to delete it. That's such a winning strategy.
Yeah, surely that'll cause the inverse to happen where you just won't get anything else because you can't get rid of COD.
Right.
That's what's going to happen, right?
Oh, yeah. Of course. That's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
That is what it's going to be one of the first things I fucking install once I get that SSD in there because I really enjoyed that COD. The only reason I don't always keep it installed is because every game near launch was really huge.
Yeah.
And they've been slimming down a bit now that more games are using the oodle texture stuff to make themselves smaller next gen. Because like, what was it? Mortal Kombat 11 was also massive. So between those two, it's like my SSD is done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm legitimately hyped. I went all of last gen without any expansion on my storage and with the PS4 vanilla.
So 500.
Yeah, 500.
Yeah.
Which to be frank, the PS5 isn't that much more than 500.
Yeah, but games are all smaller on it.
Yes, they are getting smaller.
Soon, you and me will ascend, both of us with our 2 terabytes.
Yes. This was my plan since launch. It was clearly running a few months late because Sony didn't fucking turn on the M.2 support. You know, of all the things we entertained, because before launch, I warned people, I'm like, something's going to be weird about the system that none of us could predict.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it to be, that slot just doesn't work.
Yeah, right? It's like they haven't turned it on and won't for 8 months? 10 months?
Yeah, it's 10. It's 10 because it was December of last year was 1 month. and then 9 more months. How insane. What an insane thing. That's something you would like, KZ.
Yes.
Now let's pretend this was Xbox, okay?
All right.
Now
Xbox.
if I came up to you and I said, hey KZ, that storage slot on the Series X when it comes out in November later this year is not going to work, you'd be like, Dan, what the fuck is wrong with your brain? There's no fucking way.
Especially because it's an open hole.
I know,
at
right?
Least with PS5, you have to dig a little bit.
Yeah, but it's an advertised feature on the thing, and the thing comes with no
Whatever,
storage.
that's a PS5 thing, and then fucking variable refresh rate.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. Before launch, you don't know what the fuck's going to be wrong with the new system till you get it, and then it turns out it doesn't have folders, it doesn't have variable refresh rate, and there's no legitimate storage expansion.
They're going to need to add folders because I may or may not download 45 games.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely doing that. At least the library screen is nice.
Yes.
At least
thank
that
God
is
they
better
fixed
than the
it.
PS4, in my opinion, and it's much better than it was at launch for PS5. I like being able to sort by platform and see how anemic this gen has been. And just be like, oh, yeah, there's my 9 games.
I like being able to see which ones are for which gen because, oh my God, it was a nightmare just trying to download stuff from the store. Of like, well, I want to get this thing. Like BloodRayne, I've heard it has PS5 version. I need to make sure I buy that. And it is not labeled on the store at all. It's just like, this is it. This is the game.
Do you want game? Well, I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is trying to gaslight me.
Yeah.
I talked about that on a prior podcast. It will not show you the PS4 upgrade for the director's cut on a PS5.
No.
You can buy it and run it on a PS5, but you have to do that elsewhere because they don't. One, they want that extra $10, and two, they don't want someone accidentally buying the last gen version on their PS5.
Yeah.
Even though the differences are pretty fucking minimal. Really, they just want the $10. But whatever. You could pretend it's towards a better user experience. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this. The last time I bought a large amount of storage for anything was, I guess, the Switch. I have no idea what size my SD card in the Switch is. It's just never an issue because the games have to ship on cartridges.
Right.
So they're very small. It's probably only 256 gig or maybe 512.
Yeah, except for those weird games that you just won't play, like NBA or Overwatch on the Switch. Where they ship with a download code.
That's
basically.
True. Because some of the games are just too big for cartridges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would never play one of those games on my Switch because that's not a most of the time those games are not games designed for the Switch per se.
Yeah, no, usually not.
Yeah, it's just, hey, we got this to run on the Switch. You have a Switch. You want to run this. There you go. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff I don't keep installed that I want to keep installed to play every now and again, like COD. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you're too fucking big.
Yeah, I've been just leaving a Devil May Cry 5 on my PS5 the entire time. Which, at least it's not as big as COD, but it's still pretty big.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I wish I had on my PS5.
Right, so but it's always something I want the ability to jump into, even though I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Comforting. Like, I'm not going to play 80% of the things that I'm going to download, which will probably be 80 games. However, I want them there.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Gerstmann was streaming himself, like, installing his SSD. And one of the things I was talking about in chat is, like, he brought up, I think it was Microsoft a few years back, did research on how many games people actually play. And I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of like doing research on how many meals a day someone eats and then basing the size of a fridge on that. They only eat 3 meals. That's all they need to fit. Fucking go, my man.
It's already on plates.
God.
Yeah. It's just one of those, like, really, really old-fashioned, showed up in Looney Tunes convenience eating stores sort of things. Those diners where it's the glass door that flips open and you pull out the plate of food. It's just 3 of those.
I thought of something more sad where it's like a plate with a can on it.
Oh.
That you Photoshop a fork next to.
Yes.
I didn't want people to think I didn't have a fork.
I didn't want them to think I didn't have a can.
They're just 3 cans of hash in your refrigerator. This is really dire.
I do that if our fridge wasn't congested
Yeah, it's a little overflowy.
with energy drinks.
Just a little.
Cosgrove, you don't have to refrigerate canned hash. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I don't know, though. Like, there's like Devil May Cry 5, Call of Duty, and a ton of other games. I just want to have on my PS5 to play a little bit every once in a while. Fuck. Because after you format the PS5, its storage is tiny. It's like we did the math and it's like 600 and change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, something around
effectively, KZ and I have quadrupled our storage.
Yes.
That feels fucking good.
Where I was telling Dan, I'm just going to install an absurd amount of things, move everything to that extra SSD, and use the main one for media shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I saved this clip. It can just stay there forever.
Yeah. I can't imagine 2 terabytes being insanely limiting for the rest of this gen. And I feel like if there comes a day that is somehow the case, just get an external for the fucking PS4 games. Because you can do that. You can run the PS4 games off your USB drive. You just can't run your PS5 for obvious reasons. I don't know. At the end of the day, you can buy a 2 terabyte drive for your PS5, and you currently can't for your Series X, though I heard people were doing experiments to make, what was it? It was to make normal M.2s fit into that slot, because that slot, though ostensibly proprietary, is really just a compact flash express slot. So people are working towards that. And apparently after a year is up, so in November, who's the people who make the current one? Seagate?
Yeah.
Their licensing to the year exclusivity is going to end. So then we should see more third parties pull up solutions for Xbox.
Hopefully. And hopefully not the other thing happens of no one's making them now.
Here's my concern based on history, okay?
Yeah.
My concern based on history is somehow the next revision of Xbox doesn't have that slot.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm like, that would really suck. Just period.
Yes.
I assume they won't do something so insane. You know, it's not like the expansion here is the Kinect. It's not dragging them into the ocean.
Right. It seems to have some use that people would use.
Yeah,
It's more space.
It doesn't add $200 to the price of your MSRP to ship that slot in your fucking box.
They're like, we cut it out. And we figured it was like optical. We don't need it anymore.
We cut it. I'm glad the Series X doesn't have the HDMI in it anymore.
Yeah, thank God.
Jesus Christ.
All it did was confuse me when I had an Xbox One.
Same.
Yeah, it's just a frustrating port.
You just plug it in and the Xbox is on and you can't see anything on screen and you go, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm like, is it broken? Did it brick new?
It scared me even more because my old coworker from Publix, he got an Xbox One X around the same time I did, a little bit later actually, and his HDMI did just shit its pants. And apparently that was, to some extent, an issue with One X's. So every time I plugged it in, and I didn't know I was plugging the TV into the in instead of the out, I was like, it happened. This is it.
Yeah.
We're done.
This is it.
This is it.
I'm like that all the time with everything. Like, this is it.
Well, to be fair, that served me pretty well. Every time I turned on my car, I'm like, this is it. It's not going to turn on this time. And, proves pretty true.
Congratulations on your track record. Sorry for your track record.
Yes, definitely. Phil, are you getting an SSD?
I'll probably get like a 1 terabyte one or something. I don't really, I didn't even really have storage problems on the PS4 Pro.
Right.
But it's like, okay, if I want to play more than one ongoing game that has a ridiculously huge install, like if I suddenly get really into Fortnite or Warzone,
yes,
I need to have more storage space.
Yes, and that's the thing.
Also, this is a good time to admit this. I need more because Sony can't fix their shit.
What's up? What's happening?
If you have the disc version of a PS4 game and want to install the PS5 version on the free PS5 upgrade off the store, delete the PS4 content, then reboot the system, it will start reinstalling from the disc again.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I haven't had this problem with Tsushima, but he's been telling me he's been having this issue.
Yeah.
It happened 3 times with Tales of Arise. I'm like, okay, the PS4 version's staying on until I beat the game, I guess.
Oh, you had the PS4 version because you got the Amazon deal.
Yes, he got that.
Yeah, because I got the Amazon deal.
Okay, man. Ugh. I would never anticipate that.
Yeah,
I feel like there was, and I feel maybe this might be a new problem even.
Yeah, I think this is new because once again, I haven't had this issue.
I had some
I feel
other
like
PS4
when it had the stupid drop-down menu, maybe it didn't do this because I don't think it did this to me with Atelier Ryza earlier this year. But then again, that game was tiny. Maybe I didn't even delete the PS4 version, just didn't remember. But yeah, I deleted because the PS4 version of Arise is 15 gigs bigger than the PS5 version. So
I forgot.
So I delete it and I go, well, why is it reinstalling? Oh, I guess I can't do anything about this. Oh well.
Oh, that's terrible.
God, I'm trying to remember what game I played that had the PS5 upgrade, and I didn't have this issue. So,
well, you did play Doom Eternal.
I did
for
play
a
Doom,
bit.
and that didn't do this.
Yeah,
so,
did.
maybe this is a completely new thing with this new firmware.
It also could just be with Tales of Arise.
Maybe.
That could also. Was it a whole new thing that you had to download from the store for Doom Eternal?
Yeah.
Because
then I don't fucking know. Maybe they did it. Maybe they just did it wrong on this one.
Yeah, I need to try with Yakuza Like a Dragon because that's the other one that I was planning to do like that.
God, every time Yakuza Like a Dragon comes up, I think about the catch-22 I'm stuck in, where I'm like, I want to get that game, but spending money on it is stupid because it's on Game Pass, and I have Game Pass until next year. But I don't want to play it on Xbox.
Don't worry. Here's how this is going to go.
Okay, shoot.
All right. So what's going to happen is you're so busy that when you are like, okay, I'm going to go play, it's like, Dan had already left Game Pass. The year exclusivity is up. By the way, the new one's coming out in 4 months.
I know, right?
It's free on PlayStation
Which one?
Plus.
Sure, you'll never play either of them because you'll start becoming behind.
Was it day one Game Pass?
No, but a lot of people thought it was, which was upsetting, I guess.
Oh, that's right. It was in those shows, but it was like the one thing that wasn't day one Game Pass.
Yeah, it was. They announced Like a Dragon coming to Game Pass, I think, at E3 because we're like, why are they showing a Yakuza sizzle reel? And then it ended with that one appearing in it.
Yeah, it was. So Dan has until June of next year to play it on Game Pass.
And then I end up in this weird situation of like, well, the sequel's out. My save file's on.
Oh no! See, that's what's gonna happen.
Maybe you should just borrow Bob's copy when he's done.
Do you own Like a Dragon?
Yeah, I picked it up on one of those deep discount sales.
Cool.
So it was like $20 or $25. And it's like, sure, I'm gonna play this one day, hopefully.
Well, this works out the same because I paid for Game Pass and Game Pass already paid them to get it on the service.
Sure.
And there we go. It's the same as me playing it on Game Pass, I suppose. I have no fucking idea. Who knows how those contracts are written? But yeah, a quick question before we move on. Do any of the Yakuza games give you any sort of benefit for having a save file from the prior game?
Yes, all of them do. In fact, it's so crazy that when I booted the English version of Yakuza 0, they were like, "Oh, you have saves for games that never fucking came out here. Here's stuff."
What? Wow. That's awesome. Shit.
But yeah, they all have that. They give you good accessories or whatever.
Okay. Now
There's a different one for literally every single Yakuza game.
And this one's a question for the audience. How's the trophy list look on that? Is that something to compliment?
Oh no. Turn back. Because there's always shit like
beat Mahjong.
No, not beat Mahjong, but beat Mahjong you can do. It's get 13 orphans.
Great.
Now, some of the games have an item to let you instantly pull that because every Yakuza game has cheater items for the gambling.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be able to do it with that, but it's like, yeah, get 13 orphans. I'm like, that's impossible. Why is this a trophy?
I assume
yeah,
that's the Mahjong term.
No.
Yeah,
No.
13 orphans is a hand in Mahjong,
Okay.
which means you have the 1 and the 9 of all 4 suits, and then you have the 4 directional tiles, north, east, south, west, winds, and then you have the 3 dragon tiles. It's the hardest hand to get in Mahjong, and there's a trophy that's like, get 13 orphans.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you?
I hope there's some neat bonus for Lost Judgment since I completed that last week. They're like, here you go. Yagami has a cool hat.
Yeah, Yakuza 0 is rated as a 7 out of 10 difficult platinum. It will take 2 playthroughs and 140 hours.
What is with 7 out of 10 for that? That's a shitload of hours.
Right?
Man, people are
I don't
freaking
know.
weird. As for video games I played this week, there's one that Bob brought over.
There is.
He can talk about that then.
Okay.
I finally watched the last season of Bojack Horseman. The show's really good.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't play any video games though. More people should watch Bojack. Hey, Bob.
Hey,
We played Sly 2 last week.
we did.
We split it up across 2 streams because it was supposed to be about 17 hours.
Yeah.
It was very funny at first when we were like, oh, okay, we're scouting out the position. We're taking photos of the device they're using to keep the bad guys' body parts. It's kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, intensely.
And then every time you hit a new level, it's like, take pictures of the city from all these different angles. And it's like, oh, this is perfunctory. We're doing this per world. This is now just how every stage starts.
Yes, you always go to something you need to take pictures of first, and then.
It's so weird. I've never seen a game so...
The tanker mission should always be how you start your game, okay?
Oh, yeah. It should be how you start your level.
Yes.
I've never seen a game quite like this where it's a 3D game, 3D platformer, and every level feels strict, very by the numbers, right? And that's not to say the levels themselves contain no imagination.
Okay.
I'm not trying to say that, but it is like, welcome to this level. Here's this cutscene. You will now go take pictures. We will now play another cutscene. You will go do these 3 missions. We will now play another cutscene. And sometimes, like, when you get to a level, it's like, hey, they have Carmelita. We need to save her. But Sly and crew are like, well, Bentley's got this plan that involves overthrowing the world governments, and that'll lead to us getting Carmelita, so we're going to do his thing.
Yeah, it's like, you're in the room. You could just do it now. There's 2 guys who are a little kind of big. No, I can't do it.
Okay. No, don't do it, Sly. Take pictures for me, though. I mean, we need to study the room to save Carmelita, who is an appropriate height in this game. Unlike Sly 1, where Bob's like, is she supposed to be 9 feet tall? Is that intentional? And that was the first time Shibuya noticed that. And she's like, wait a minute. Because it's a perspective thing of like, she doesn't look that tall. Wait, how far away is she? But I'm very excited for Sly 3.
Yeah.
I'm super fucking hyped for Sly 3. Just because people are telling me it's pretty similar to 2, but, obviously a completely new story and level design. So I'm really, really interested in what that looks like and how that pans out.
Yeah, I think a version of Sly 2 that doesn't have 2 horror theme levels, they're just bad. It's got to be better.
Yeah, those 2 levels are definitely the worst in the game.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that game's pretty good, but why are those 2 levels even here?
I'm really glad we got rid of those at the end of the first stream.
Yes.
Because when we came back for the second stream, it felt way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could literally just make Sly 3 a Sly 2-like thing without horror levels, and I would be like, oh, yeah, this is better. Thank you.
But also playing it is like reminding me of Infamous way more than I thought it would.
Yeah?
Yeah, just because of the way that Sly moves all the time.
Yes. His movement animations are very Cole McGrath core.
Yeah. So it makes more sense why Cole McGrath looks like a complete weirdo.
Bob, he's a messenger boy. He's a delivery guy. He's nimble. Like a fox.
Yes, who jumps in the air and kind of floats as if he weighs like a feather.
That's because it's electric hands. What?
Before he does that.
Oh. But yeah, this is killing me. And I'm like, this is getting rough because we're going to finish Sly. And then we have Metroid month because we hit that goal.
We did.
We
Thank
got
you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
That was really funny.
We have so much Metroid to go through, and the background radiation of my life is going to be, I really want to play Infamous 1 the whole time.
Yeah, it's rough.
So it's like, okay, that's clearly the next thing we're going to do.
you hitting a goal is really funny. Where I'm like, what the hell is all that noise? What's going on in here? And you look sad, and I'm like, oh, yeah, get fucked.
Eat money,
Get
asshole.
fucked, money.
Thanks for the SSD, guys.
Yes. Thank fucking Christ for that. Seriously. But yeah, no. We need to do an Infamous thing after Metroid.
Yeah, if there's time. I feel like there might be something else that catches our attention after Metroid, but who knows?
We can casually. I feel like there's nothing else this year that, like, some people have floated, hey, what if you did a playthrough of Advance Wars? And I'm like, well, part of me thinks just wait for the new one.
Yeah, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's 1 and 2.
Yeah, also, I'd prefer to do that as a Let's Play.
That's fair.
Because doing a strategy game all in one sitting, let alone 2.
Yeah. No, we'd be evaporating and making the stupidest moves ever.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like, okay, we don't have to put it there, and then Bob goes, "Oh no!" after hitting confirm to move there.
Yeah.
Yes. Bob's like, "Why aren't they capturing the building?" And I'm like, "Bob, that's your headquarters. You just invaded yourself." But no, I really just, there's so much Infamous all over this. I really need to see that. It's going to be even funnier because we're going to go Sly 1 through 3, do Sly 4, and then at some point play Infamous 1. So we're going to see a much later PS3 game that is Sly.
Yes.
And then go all the way back to 2009 or whatever with Infamous 1. I'm very excited for Metroid Month, though. For people who don't know what's up with that, we're doing the entire normal series. We're not doing the Prime or the Prime spin-off. So we're doing 1 Zero Mission, all 3 versions of 2, as in 2, AM2R, and Samus Returns, Super Metroid, Fusion, and Other M. So that way we have the full timeline going in. We get our great introduction to our CO.
Yes.
Our bounty hunter CO. And it's going to be really good. And everyone's going to get ready and up to speed for Metroid Dread before it comes out. I already have people messaging me. They're like, yeah, Metroid Dread looks like it's going to be Mercury Steam's best game, which it better damn well be.
Yeah. Not a high bar, guys.
I'm
Come
like,
on.
yeah, it better damn well be. This is the first Metroid establishing going forward in the timeline in how many years? 18?
Because Fusion's the latest.
Yeah,
God.
Fusion's the latest, and it's either 03 or 04. I think it's 03. So that's 18 fucking years.
Yeah, and that's how they built it. As soon as they showed up in the direct, they're like the first new Metroid in 18 years. And I'm like, that's not correct.
Yeah, no, that's fucking false.
But I understand what you're saying.
It's so exciting, and it will look like the first time Samus moved like really smoothly ever.
I don't know. She feels sleek in Zero Mission and Fusion.
She's still like stopped when she hits the ground after a jump.
Yeah, she's still a bit stuttery in that way where she...
Whereas this looks like, no, she just runs. She can
Yes.
slide and move like a person.
Look, she's a Chozo girl boss, okay? She doesn't need this shit from you.
Mm-hmm. Her mecha armor just, it takes a second once she hits the ground.
Yes.
It sounds like you're being very rude.
I can't stand all the Metroid Dread thumbnails that keep coming out where it's just her fucking face. Through the helmet, it's just like bug-eyed Samus.
you see, you need to make your own version of that when we do a spoiler cast.
Yeah, just stick I'll order the fisheye lens right now. We'll shove it in Bob's face.
Jesus.
That'll be great. That'll be the companion to the one of you that's Doomslayer.
See, Bob, I already went in the suit. Now it's your turn.
You get the weird gooey suit.
But yeah, no, all that's really exciting. I'm really enjoying these Sly games. One change we did is we're going to move PlayStation Heroes on the Move, which isn't actually called that anymore. I think it's called PlayStation Heroes.
PlayStation Move Heroes, I think.
PlayStation Move Heroes. Yeah, the other name was better, but then they were like, what if people don't know you need the PlayStation Move?
True.
So then now
Put that on the box on a big symbol.
Nobody's going to buy it anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Nihilist made this. No one's buying it.
Who?
God,
Exactly.
Nihilist. Jesus,
The people who made the Vita Call of Duty.
Who?
There was a Vita Call of Duty?
Didn't they also make the Vita Resistance game?
Yes.
They are
Which
the
There was
bad
a
one.
Vita Resistance?
Yeah.
And
I thought it got that fucking horrible and Uncharted one, and that was it.
hey, you want to play Borderlands 2 on a Vita?
That would be better than the 2 games we just listed.
God. You were saying about PlayStation Move Heroes?
We're going to move that to the back end of a Jack month if we do a Jack month. And the reason being, I want to be fully up to date on Jack and all the Jackisms that I need
the
to.
Jackapalooza.
Yeah, the Jackapalooza needs to happen so that way I can equally view all 3 franchises from having experienced them to figure out who got the shortest end of the stick.
You're like, I need to see every character assassination at once.
Yes, it needs to feel like coming home to a nightmare version of your family.
Yes. They all got into drugs.
Yeah, some of those faces in that game look like that. Some of those faces on that box art look like that.
Yeah, I know, and I hate looking at it.
And it's like, yo, I didn't know Ratchet was from Fritz the Cat. Anyways, Bob, so you bought a game.
I did buy a game.
Okay. You can talk about it.
Didn't
you buy 2?
I bought 2, yes. I bought several games this week.
Oh.
Was this another happenstance like that other time where you accidentally checked out from?
No. These were all intentional.
That's good.
It wasn't, I have these in my cart. I'm going to hit back. Oh, fuck, I bought all of it.
I intentionally brought BloodRayne Betrayal for Fresh Bites.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I did this. I know this game is terrible. I bought it on the PS3.
You had to buy it.
Yeah, I'm like, every human who has played that game was like, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
How's it going, Bob?
It's really bad. I played 2 levels. It's really, really bad, and I don't suggest anyone pay money for this game.
I feel like you've tricked me.
Why?
Because I feel like you've said that and you've had that energy, but you're like, I gotta get this. It's got 120 FPS, and you've said you need to buy it enough that I'm like, oh, maybe it's good.
Yeah, I want to believe that WayForward didn't put out something as bad as this, and that maybe I had some incorrect memories. No.
Oof, that was WayForward?
Yeah, that was WayForward. That's why it was like, well, there's some hope behind this.
Wow, that's nuts.
It's the worst WayForward game I've ever played. It's so bad. The melee combat feels terrible.
Yep.
Moving your character feels terrible.
Yeah.
Even at 120 frames per second.
Imagine, okay, this is what I remember from 13 years ago, okay?
Okay.
Or whenever this came out. 13's pretty close. KZ.
Yeah.
Imagine instead of moving your character as you think of it, imagine instead you moving the stick sort of like pulled an invisible rope that your character's abdomen was attached to.
That
Is
almost
this Happy
sounds like
Wheels?
This almost sounds like what I played this week. Where I'm like, this doesn't seem correct.
No, see, in that game, an invisible jock is slamming into a giant locker and trying to get it to move. Fuck that game, by the way. Anyway, Bob, would you say that's accurate? The invisible rope pulley is
Something like that. It just feels wrong. And
Yeah.
it's hard to describe how.
It really
You
is.
just don't move the right pace. You can't see any attack that's coming at you at all. Mm-hmm. They added an easy mode, which is now the standard mode. That's called normal. The original Mystic difficulty is called classic because they know that it was just stupidly brutal.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That game doesn't feel anywhere good enough for it to be that difficult.
Yeah. But it has voice acting now. They got the voice actors from a real BloodRayne game. So we got Laura Bailey as Rain, and we have Troy Baker as the main villain. And Patrick Seitz reprising his role from Devil May Cry 5 is random military man.
Yo, crew cut.
Yo, that's awesome. He's getting a lot of work as crew cut.
Yeah.
What if these are just Dogi's ancestors or whatever, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. This is his descendants.
But yeah, don't buy this game.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Maybe if it
I didn't intend to.
maybe it gets down to $5 and you want just to look at it and be like, man, you really put this out. Because the title screen, they got new art done for like when the buy page and stuff like that looks really nice. They got like good artists to come in. When you open the game and you're looking at the title screen, it looks like the worst thing you could see on Newgrounds in like 2000.
It's like, oh man, this new Pico game is great.
where the joints don't work or mesh together right, so there's these weird seams in her body. Her face looks completely wrong.
You telling me it looks like Kerrigan from legendary Froggy videos is just on screen cosplaying BloodRayne?
It looks a little bit like that, yeah.
That's rough.
It's really rough. I don't know why they didn't change that title screen. It's embarrassing.
They're like, well, you already bought me. Here's my nuts. It's just
Yum.
sitting in fucking boxers in your living room.
Jesus. Did we want to talk about the movies we watched this week, Dan?
Sure.
Okay.
Why did we watch the Nolan trilogy?
I don't know. I think this is KZ's fault.
You know why? Because sometimes we'll walk into a Walmart and you and me will start doing the soundtrack together.
I mean, it's true. The fucking the soundtrack to the fucking Christopher Nolan Batman films is incredible. And if you change that, those films would go down multiple points instantly.
Yeah, it's funny how much harder they're hitting than anything else.
Oh, it's so good. It tricks people into thinking the choreography in Batman Begins exists. But yeah, no, we watched it in 4K HDR. KZ picked up the whole trilogy. Man, those IMAX shots look incredible. And somehow, even though the whole movie's made on film, the rest of the film looks 1080p compared to the IMAX shit.
Yeah, that IMAX stuff is really insane.
It's so clear.
It's unreal. I've never seen water look so good.
I felt my ass getting blown out when we watched The Dark Knight and they do the stuff in China.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, they pull out that camera for any time they do like a big city shot. Like there's no stock footage in this movie. It's just all we got a really, really good camera on a drone or something.
It's really funny because constantly the way they change scenes is just doing a city shot, so it kind of feels like a sitcom moving places, and that's when the good camera appears. I'm like, oh, where are we going now? Oh, we shrunk.
Yeah, he needs it to look really good so you don't think about how tackish it is to constantly cut to a shot of a city.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fine. Those movies were really great for when they came out, but now I'm scared because did you say that Iron Man came out the same year as Begins?
No,
or was it The Dark Knight? Okay.
Yeah, it came out like 3 months after Dark Knight.
I need to see Iron Man to figure out which of the two is better because
it only came into my mind because when Harvey Dent does the I'm Batman bit in that, I'm like, Marvel must have been upset. They're like, uh-oh, that's our hook.
But it's okay because that was a joke. That was a jape. It was a trick.
Yes.
Tony Stark, he's just bragging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Going back to those films, don't go back to those films. Kidsy, what were your thoughts of the Dark Knight trilogy?
They were fantastic. The third one may be the funniest movie of all time, and it's also a terrible movie. I highly recommend it.
It's very funny for about an hour at most.
Yeah.
But those
parts are really, really funny, though. If you want to see the worst acting performance in a big blockbuster like that, please check out Miranda Tate dying in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. It would be really good if the Dark Knight Rises plot made any sense.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be fantastic.
No, we're all going to go in that sewer right now.
We're all going to go. What was it? How many cops was it?
3,000 cops.
3,000 cops all go in the sewers. They seal the sewers, but then bring them food and water every day so they don't starve to death. And they planned for the nuke to go off in 5 months regardless. What?
As soon as they go to the position where the final battle is going to happen an hour from now, where you two are just cracking up going, I sure remember the rest of this movie and how bad it's going to be.
Yep. It's unfortunate I didn't remember all the nothing that occurs in between.
Yeah, that's the worst part of how much just nothing happens in that movie.
It's great.
It's just literally Gordon and whoever else, they're just talking in the city about what's happened in the city, but not showing it.
Bob, his name was Robin.
Sure it was.
It was.
No, it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
His name was Ubisoft Crowdsourceman.
Yes, Ubisoft Crowdsourceman.
God. But yeah, I don't know.
His name's Hothead.
Oh man. But yeah, I think if you sit there and you're like, all these Marvel films suck, maybe then go back and watch the Dark Knight trilogy and then start rewatching your way through the Marvel films, because I feel like there are a decent number of Marvel films that are better than any of these 3 films. And that's something I wish people had more appreciation for. But Marvel's more popular now in the long-term view.
Yeah, if you can break through the barrier of I have to hate popular thing.
Yeah.
And view it through a normal person lens.
Yeah, I feel like you never get a Marvel film where the plot's as insane as The Dark Knight Rises. Or the acting is as bad, but then again, I haven't watched the Thor films.
Natalie Portman coming in.
Yeah, I know. She was the first thing I thought of when I said when the acting's as bad. And I'm like, I didn't watch Thor 1 and 2. Saw the third one. That was pretty all right.
It was. She's coming back for 4.
That's what I hear. Like some sort of Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
We also watched the Bill and Ted trilogy.
Yes.
I'd never seen any of those.
I'm shocked. They're pretty good.
Yep.
I'm shocked that third one was good at all.
Yeah, I was really nervous about the third one happening after 30 years, and it was like, this might be the best one.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah, that is my favorite one.
There is an energy to it that is manic, and I really appreciate it.
Also, the fact that Keanu looks like Keanu now, which makes it even funnier, of him just doing everything.
Yes.
I was also worried that the daughters thing might end up really bad, but no, they can make their daughters 24 in doing nothing, being exactly like their fathers.
Yes,
it's like, oh my god, this is perfect.
Because the plot is Bill and Ted named each other's daughters after the other one. So Bill's daughter's named Ted, Ted's daughter's named Billy. And then he's like, you named them after each other. I thought he was cute, but it's actually a curse. They're 24 and they're not doing anything with their lives. And I'm like, this is incredible.
The sheer amount of people that came back in that film.
Yes. I couldn't believe that, like, Keanu Reeves' dad in that movie is still alive.
Oh, yeah. No, and an incredible actor.
Yes.
He's really good at all 3 films. It's super fucking great. He's the one who just did the rant that I quoted.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good. There's one of the best bits is with, what was it, Josh Grohl?
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl,
yes. Yes.
Then I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, Dave Grohl shows up. It's really, really good. Yeah, those films are really funny. 2 of them were made in the 80s, and there are 3 uses of a word you wouldn't put in a modern movie. But, you know,
I didn't know that because I always saw the TV edits.
That's true. That's true. Me too.
Yeah. So when we got to those moments, I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Well,
but yeah, no, they were surprisingly funny movies. And yeah, I agree. The third one's the best one. Like, there's such a good energy to it. And they have a really good... Okay, so the weird thing, the irony of the Bill and Ted series... Bill and Ted are supposed to be future prophets that save the world by making the song that unites humanity.
Mm-hmm.
The first and second movie aren't necessarily about that at all.
No.
It's just a fact.
Yeah, it's just a weird story thing to get them to go through time or go through death.
Yes. And that isn't necessarily the plot. The third one is technically about that, and the way the driving force of the film is really good because of that.
Yes.
I like watching the first and second one. You're like, I'm afraid they're never going to learn how to play music at all.
Yeah, it's like, oh God, they have no idea how to play any instruments, and they may never learn. Oh God.
Theo, you need to watch this just for the cuck arc.
Oh my God, there's such a really strong cuck arc throughout 3 films.
Yeah, it's incredible. I would describe it. Don't want to spoil it though.
Okay.
I feel like if you hit that third film, you'll throw up from laughing about it.
Yes. Man, it's honestly, that cuck arc is probably the funniest joke in 1 and 2.
It is. It's really messed up that
God,
it is.
it is. The fact that it even happened in 3 killed me.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, that's incredible. Same actress the whole time, which makes it even funnier.
You're like, I have to look. It's been 30 years.
I'm like, this has been 30 years. There's no way you still have this character. You
Yes.
do. Oh my God. Incredible.
Oh. I'm thinking about it more. I'm thinking about every line, and it's killing me.
Yeah, no. That's, if you could just make a YouTube video that was the through line of that plot arc, that would be one of the best YouTube
The Bill
videos.
and Ted trilogy, but it's only the important parts.
But yeah, no, those I'm glad we watched those. It's really surprising to be like the third one's the best. But you know, death is really good in 2. You can't undersell death in 2.
Oh yeah, the main villain from Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, I've seen his ass.
Yeah, because he opens Die Hard 2 by doing naked like Tai Chi.
Yeah, that's when I thought Die Hard 2 was going to be a good movie.
Yeah, there was a good 5-10 minutes there where you're like, maybe Die Hard 2 is really great. Maybe everyone's wrong. This seems cool as hell. I love that my villain's like coked out dude. This is great.
Yeah, insanely ripped military dude. This could be awesome. Oh, what if they did nothing?
Yeah. But yeah, that's our movie minutes of the week. Bob, what other games did you play?
Let's see. I also played more of Fist, that furry diesel punk game I talked about last week. This has been it's been a really, really fun Metroidvania style game of just tons of good exploration, good feeling platforming, and interesting combat. After like 5 hours, maybe more, it got to a second water segment and it made it really bad. And I was like, what are you thinking?
I want to swim.
Yeah, the swimming controls feel so much worse than the rest of the game. And it was fine when they just did like a mini area after the first 3 hours. But then they come back to it and it's like, now you can hold your breath forever. And so we made the areas huge and terrible.
Okay,
Great.
so is it better or worse than Bloodstain's like underwater segments?
It's so much worse because it doesn't end. Imagine if it was like 3 times the size of Bloodstain's.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm sure you get an ability that makes movement not terrible, right?
Not yet. I haven't.
I keep looking.
Yeah, I'll keep going. I want to finish this game. They might have made it too long. I didn't think that until I hit the segment where it just won't stop being underwater. Because the plot also kind of stopped when they did that, and I'm like, why you like this? So there's that. Then there's WarioWare. I brought that over and we played it together. WarioWare, get it together.
Is that really the name?
Yep.
Get it together.
Yeah, and they put the Joy-Cons on the sides.
Get it together.
I had a lot of fun with that. It's very weird to have a lot of different characters to play as, but to make you always on your toes, it switches to characters every new mini game.
Yes,
and you don't know what's coming, so it's kind of a nightmare.
Yes, it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if it's like, for this mini game, move, and I'm like, I'm playing as someone whose legs don't work.
Yeah. This dude literally can't move at all. In order to move his body, he has to shoot rings. They're like rings you hold with your hand, and then it pulls himself to it. And it's like, you expect me to find the ring, figure out what I'm supposed to do in this video game, move myself, and then manage everything in 4 seconds.
And then imagine you do that, and they're like, here's your boss, do a side-scrolling stage.
Yeah, I hit a boss where it was a long side-scrolling thing, and I'm like, my legs don't work. Please stop. Can I re-roll my character?
It's also making it 2-player makes the game a lot harder too. Of like, I need to make sure what I'm doing doesn't interfere with what they're doing and make everything fail.
I don't know what you're talking about, Bob. It was really good that time. It's like, hey, adjust the volume on this tape player to this exact range, and you just shoved it to the left. I'm like, oh no!
I'm like, well, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think the chaos of that type of game added with co-op really improved it.
Yes, that was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think that was. I was really worried how this WarioWare would come out, but no, this is a really solid WarioWare for sure.
Oh man, it has the Nintendo Classics section that they always do, where they have a bunch of old games.
Yes,
one of the best segments no one could expect. What if it's just one of the Fire Emblem tea? Like
they literally ripped in the tea time segment with Claude from Fire Emblem Three Houses, and you have to pick the choice that's grammatically correct.
Yes,
because the other two options are misspelled, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding?
That's hilarious.
Wow, that's hell for a subset of people.
Yeah, but
This game is hell. I don't.
it just had modern games in there. They're like, choose who won in Splatoon 2.
yeah.
Oh God,
That's really good.
That's really good.
It's immaculate. I'm very happy with this WarioWare. I hope they never stop making these because clearly they have ideas.
Yes.
I really liked the 3DS one too, even though nobody played it because it came out after the Switch.
Yes.
And then it had that hell mode at the end where it's like, we're not going to tell you what form of input the game is for. Figure it out.
I need to play more of that one because I bought it at launch to support WarioWare, and then with the 3DS, so I didn't play it.
It's all right, and they don't make you do that clown shoe shit until like the bonus missions where it's like, this could be touch screen, this could be buttons, this could be motion, this could be like the gyro controls. You don't know.
That's truly evil. Good.
All the characters they have in this is really funny because some are like terrible, but it makes the game better. Where it's like, okay, player 1 always shoots right, player 2 always shoots left. Here's that same thing with this set of characters, except they're always jumping.
Yeah, you don't control the jump. You get to control left and right movement. They're always jumping like in moon shoes, and it's like, oh, I'm in hell.
And I'm like, this is just a worse version of those characters. This is great.
There was, what was it, Bob? What were we doing? And you're like, hey, Dan, just push it slightly to the right. And I'm like, I can't!
I think it was like, we need the balance this thing in the center.
Yes.
And get it to move to the left. And you're like, I can't do it.
I am in the sky 95% of time. You're doomed.
Either that or just like, you just need to hit this roly-poly. That's on the ground. I can't get to the ground.
Yeah, that's what it was, because I was bouncing, and the moment I bounced, I landed on the top floor and couldn't go back down. And I'm like, this is the worst.
Also, I can't handle the fucking mom's mechanics.
Yes.
The mom is delightful.
Yeah, 5 volt is really good. I don't even want to spoil it.
Yeah, I'm just like, that might be the best one.
Her movement method is unhinged.
Okay, now I'm excited. I might have to pick this up.
Yeah, this is genuinely really damn good.
Thank God it is not full price. It's like 50.
Yeah, and Walmart was even selling it, I think, for 45 or 44.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was pretty affordable.
Mm-hmm. And I saw the 4-player mode there and was like, this is it.
That's going to kill us.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus.
Let's see. I also played, they added fishing to Genshin.
Yes, they did.
I think it's a pretty good fishing minigame. I hope it sticks around.
It's fine. Yeah, it's a pretty decent fishing minigame. It like doesn't take too long, but you still have to, do it right.
Yeah,
so it has a pretty simple one.
Yeah, like actually aim your cast, get it in front of the fish. You have to use the right kind of bait. Each kind of fish has a different bait they like. And then when you get the fish, you just have to like keep a line inside of like a moving bar.
Yeah, there's like a moving bar, and you hold down the shoulder button to fill a bigger bar, and you have to keep the amount that's filled within like the smaller frame that moves around. So you have to release and press down the shoulder button again and at certain times to keep it the right level.
Yeah, it seems like a solid mechanic. I'm happy with this mini game. Thank you.
Yeah, I played fishing games, and the ones I don't like are the ones that make you mash.
Yeah, it does not do that.
Yeah, like for the first two Trails of Cold Steel ones made you mash, but it's the face buttons, and then they'll just move to a different face button. and I'm like, I'm dying.
I assume if you hit the wrong face button, you'd lose the fish.
No, the meter goes down, so it just becomes this thing of you need to push the meter all the way to the top. And if you have a worse rod, it's harder to the point where it's actually impossible. If you don't have like a higher tiered rod.
I don't think the 3 and 4 changed it, but I do think they just changed it to holding the button rather than mashing, because it's like, oh, this is a compliance thing. Games shouldn't have mashing anymore.
Or just it's a really casual type of mash, like a quick time event where it's like, we really just want you to press it maybe 4 times, but we'll pretend it's real action packed. But yeah, I preferred immediately if it was a hold.
And the only other thing I played was Tales of Arise, which I hear most of you guys have played, was KZ and Phil.
I played a bunch of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Phil's like the farthest ahead of us.
Yeah, I'm only like a little bit past the first main boss.
Mm-hmm. The guy that every single person I've seen talk about it says that dude's name is Ballsack.
I mean, that's what his name is.
Okay, I need to look at the voice credits. Is Patrick Seitz both him and some dude is on the party?
Oh, is he both? Because
Yes.
he's definitely Zephyr,
Yes.
like your main NPC guy. Where I'm like,
I'm
yep.
almost certain he's also that First Lord.
Yeah, because I was like, this sounds like both him. At least, which I'm a lot more okay with than him being a random doctor. That was unacceptable.
Let's not talk about any game that would do that.
I assume it's just like, yeah, the first guy dies pretty quick, so it's fine if I'm both.
Yeah.
You won't have long to compare us.
Yeah, his tone is a little bit different in that one. The other one is just Patrick Seitz doing that thing he always does. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I wasn't sure enough that it was him or not.
I really like.
Oh no, it is not. It is not Patrick Seitz. It is Jason Van de Break,
Okay.
who
Oh.
has been in basically nothing else. So maybe he just has a very Patrick Seitz-esque voice.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we need a new one of those once in a while.
We do. We do. We can't always do Patrick Seitz or Jameson Price for every big guy.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Like, yeah, they need more than just him and the guy who does Taker.
I don't know that Jameson Price is priceless.
Yes. He is. Every time he shows up in a game, I'm like, all right, you're immediately one of the best characters.
I'm really enjoying Ray Chase just doing Noctis for the protagonist.
I like that Ray Chase gets to be a main protagonist of a real RPG or JRPG. It's very cool.
Come on,
Hey,
be nice.
This is really funny in how they recycle VAs because he was the main villain of the last one.
Bob,
Yeah, he
Final Fantasy 15's a real JRPG. A real piece of shit.
Listen, he's Boy Nier in the Nier Replicant remake.
I didn't make it that
That's a
far.
real JRPG. In the remake, he is anyway.
I didn't make it to that because he's not when it's younger Nier.
It's okay,
he's
Bob.
younger than
This game plays well. We can add another modifier to this one.
Does anybody else have the AVGN theme going through their head?
It's a really good theme.
Are you playing Kingdom Hearts 3's gummy ship segments? Is that why?
Yes, that's why.
Okay.
You got it.
What was that feel?
I said this game does play really well. It's the best playing Tales game in terms of combat, for sure.
Yeah. It's the only first one I felt okay with switching it to manual. I don't feel like that's a pain. Like it seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
I'm really happy that they just took the coolest thing in Berseria. Do not play Tales of Berseria. They took the
What?
They took the coolest thing from Tales of Berseria. You can play Tales of Berseria, but it's like a 6.
It's got real good
That
cast.
means every Tales game before it's maybe a 4 or a 5.
I have
No,
no
you're insane. I'm sorry,
objections
Casey.
here, but
The Tales of Fantasia is real good. I need to play the rest of it at some point.
that's the
Maybe
SNES
not.
one, isn't it?
Yes.
I was like, is Bob doing the Star Ocean 1 thing again?
Yes. That's great. That has the character named Deos in it.
Doesn't Tales of Fantasia have the voice clips that are like,
Yeah. It's like,
Yes, it's a Super Nintendo game.
I forgot they did that. It's really funny.
It's really great. Wonder why they needed such a large cart.
it has a full anime opening in it of like vocals.
Yes. Yeah. And then when people wanted to bring it over, they dubbed the vocals. Yes. Yes.
The only version of it we've ever gotten is the fucking Game Boy Advance version, which is a piece of shit.
Oh, I didn't even know we got a Game Boy Advance version. I meant like
Yeah,
fan-dub.
we got the Game Boy Advance port of that game. That's the only version of Tales of Fantasia that's ever come out here. And
Yeah.
it's fucking garbage.
Yeah, of course. All those GBA ports are real bad.
I intend to play through the PlayStation 1 version at some point because that got a fan patch and has like an additional character and new areas and stuff.
Yeah, it actually has like skits in it, which were not.
And it probably fixed the legendary line that the one character fucks like a tiger, which isn't anything like what the character actually says.
That is such a nightmare translation.
It is. It's really great.
Also, I feel like they probably
it-
completely busted the balance of that game.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to play a not insane version of that game.
Yeah.
Also, I enjoyed Zillia. I wouldn't say it's a 6 or something.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh yeah, I was saying we should review the OP for this like we do in Chugging Bleach.
Oh my god.
It's like an 8 or a 9 for me. I think the song's really good and the visuals man, did they put a lot into that, especially when they like get toward the end of it.
Yeah, I think the visuals look real nice. I think this is the worst song in any Tales of game.
I like the song a lot, actually.
It's got so much auto-tune, I hate it.
Okay.
It's a nightmare.
Is it as much as Astral Chain male version?
It's more.
No. Yeah. That's impossible.
Yeah, but you can actually hear the vocals as opposed to with Astral Chain male where you barely hear them.
Yeah, you can hear the monster whatever computer voice he's generating. Yeah, it's real bad. I'm gonna give it like a 7 because that song is so bad.
Okay, that means Phil needs to do it, right?
Yeah.
I'll give it like an 8. It's pretty good.
Bob, did you have anything else you wanted to say about?
While playing the game, Rinwell's voice, I'm pretty sure it's a lower recording quality. It sounds like it like really tinny in a way that's very bad, and I'm sad.
I see.
Which I assume this is a part of recording from home that almost certainly goes almost entirely done like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly.
And also, they do stuff that Tales games sometimes do, like super late game, like in Grace's really late game. You find that aliens exist, and they just put that in the front of the game. They're just like, yeah, they're aliens.
Yeah, when you start this game and they're like, the peace didn't last, and start showing spaceships.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I love when you just upfront this is a fantasy game, but also we're insane.
Yeah, I always like when the JRPG suddenly gives you the dungeon that has the fucking cyber temple, and you're like going through elevators and stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is in the first like hour and a half.
This is doing more than some Star Oceans do. Was that already?
It certainly plays much better than any of the Star Oceans that do that.
I would certainly love a Star Ocean with a real budget again, and see if maybe they could make something good.
I would certainly like something other than whatever the fuck Star Ocean 4 was.
The Last Hope.
God. More like the fucking last nail in the coffin.
We're doing really good at this week.
I feel they did a 5 after that was the real last nail in the coffin. It's somehow worse.
I have to assume it doesn't have anything as bad as the moment in Star Ocean 4 where I spend 90 minutes going through a dungeon, beat the boss, there's a cutscene, then I'm like, I'm just standing here at the end of the dungeon. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, no. As someone who beat that, no. Also, it's like the shortest JRPG I've ever played.
Don't worry, Phil. Instead of that, it's the whole game feels like that. The entire game is just like there's nothing happening. It's just a big open world.
There's almost no cutscenes in it because they just replaced it with walk-in talks for cutscenes.
There's a reason that KZ, you saying that explicitly is why I have never played that game despite having it on my shelf over there. Like, no.
Yeah. That's all I got to say about Tales of Arise.
I think, I enjoyed the combat. It almost immediately engages you with where they're like, okay, you have a limit of like 3 or 4 hits on your main combo, but in the air it resets, so you get into this flow of mashing out the combo, doing a couple of arts, do the one that launches, and then you kind of extend through that, and then give you like cooldowns.
It's a much better system. Berseria had a kind of similar system, but it had the downfall that sometimes your limbs fall off. Where in Arise you have like they got rid of MP, so you have pips now that are your special moves, and you can do like 3 in a combo. And once you're no longer doing a combo, they recharge pretty fast. Berseria had pips for all your attacks, including your normal attacks, and if you take an attack at the wrong moment, the enemy can break one. And what would happen sometimes is you'd get broken down to having 1. And it's like all your arms and legs are gone. It's like, what do I do? There's no items to bring these back. It's just over.
Yeah, it's just, it was a lot more restrictive, where this feels a lot more freeing to actually mess around with the combat.
This has everything in Berseria, but much better. Like in Berseria, you had Velvet, the protagonist, had like her claw. She has like a big monster claw she can throw out that permanently eats one of the pips. And it functioned almost the same as the fire sword in this does, except this one just takes HP, so it's much safer to use outside of just instantly rinsing some small enemy. So it's like, that feels really good.
A friend of mine described this game's combat into two groups. When it's a normal enemy, it's like Devil May Cry, and when it's a boss, it's Dark Souls. And I was like, based on the first boss, yes, I do understand this. I'm either air juggling them, or that dude's gonna swing and it's gonna kill me in one hit.
Yeah, I've beaten the second major boss, and it's not that bad, but there's stuff like, am I just way under leveled? Because there's a moment where you have to do a thing, or else you take a bunch of damage, and I'm like, I can't do this thing. It feels like I would have to be 10 levels higher to be able to do this thing.
Yeah, I heard
it's a DPS check.
Yeah,
it's a DPS check.
People told me that there
like,
is some level of a DPS check at some point.
Like that's what it felt like during the demo, which worried me. Of like some of these things seemed like the health bars were just way too big. But I haven't hit that in the main game yet, so it's unfortunate to hear. Oh, you get to the second main boss and that happens.
I'm going a little slowly, like I'm fighting. Like I was like, I'm just gonna grind in this spot just because I wanted another like fire sword move in that skill tree they've got. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep grinding off these bears, because right before you hit the ice city in that game, there's a transitional screen with two big guys, and I'm like, it responds every time you go in and out. So I'm like, I found it. This is the moment that I can really just grind quickly.
They do eventually give you the thing that a lot of the later Tales games have of where you can chain encounters to get more experience and more skill points.
Oh, that's
by doing a bunch in a row, which feels really good for my brain. Berseria had this one moment where if you have the right person in your party, they will counter the boss's big move, and there'll be like a cinematic in the middle of the fight. Berseria Arise just makes that a combat mechanic.
Yeah, I really like that.
Where each character has a bar, and they're assigned to a button on the D-pad, and when they fill that bar, the main character's bar fills with you attacking, and everybody else's seems to fill automatically over time. And it's almost like Final Fantasy X, where the gunner Shion, you use hers, and it will just instantly drop any flying enemy and stun them for like 5 or 6 seconds. And then Rinwell gets the ability to do that when enemies have their casting bar. She's like, I stun them, and now I cast that spell they were casting. And I'm like, oh, that's really great.
Yeah, because she even says that in a skit where it's like, yeah, I just steal it.
And which is weird because I got that skit like 30 minutes before they gave me that tutorial. So I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And then another party member gets the ability to do that to shields. So like you start fighting the big knights from the first area, but they have full body tower shields. And it's like I fucking bounce off from the front. And he's like, oh, I'll just smash through the shield and own their shit. And now they don't block from the front anymore. And I'm like, thank God. And most of the bosses have like openings where they become incredibly vulnerable to one of these.
Yeah, I really did like you're fighting the boss, like that first main boss at the start of the game, where it's just like, wait for when he's in the air, and then they just fucking open his ass up, and they like play a small scene.
Yeah, you get like a unique scene, so it feels like a really cool evolution of the Tales of combat. I also think the change, like getting rid of MP and giving you a meter that's like, this is how much you can heal.
Yeah,
it's like a really smart thing. I'm surprised I haven't seen before.
And not only that, which makes me laugh because like, haha, you sit down at a fire and get it back.
What a good episode.
but also some buffs cost it. And then I go into all my party members' menus and I'm like, none of you get to use those buffs. You are not allowed to spend this resource on anything but healing.
That and there's some certain things you do in the field that also cost those cure points, where it's like using your fire sword to like break through an ice wall, or that person over there's dying. You want to like pick them up. No. Just a random bystander.
I really like, this is something you find out very early, so it's not like a spoiler, but I really like the element that like, yeah, the protagonist can't fucking feel pain, so he's the only person that can use this sword because it incinerates your fucking hands while you're using it. He's like, I literally don't feel pain, so I can use the sword that melts my arms off.
Yeah, you get that like in the first 10 minutes where he gets like hit and he's bleeding, and they're like, you're bleeding. He's like, oh. And I was like, oh, is this going to be a funny, quirky thing? It's literally, he cannot feel that. That's really cool.
I think it's funny that they go over that so much, and then it's still like, yeah, I just hold it with these gloves. they always set on fire, but they also heal, I guess.
One time he pulls it out
Don't
just
worry
for
about
a
it.
scene where he does nothing. I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to get that healed.
It's on fire. It's like,
It just becomes Days Gone, and it's like, yeah, he has a blood infection and is losing his mind because he wouldn't take healing because he said it was fine.
There actually is a like an interaction in battle because they're finally fucking subtitled even in English. They're over there on the left. They like pop out up with portraits when people talk during a fight.
Yes.
Where he's like, why are you healing me? And she's like, because you're about to die. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that because I can't feel pain.
Yes.
This game really reminds me of Symphonia and Abyss so far, and I'm hoping that's deliberate, and then they're gonna fuck with me on that because like it really has the Abyss element of like these people fucking hate each other, or at the very least are like really do not get along very much, and it's like, oh, that's neat. I wonder where that will go in terms of character development. That was a big thing in Abyss too, and it feels like this is the new era without the evil, so maybe they're like doing a bunch of callbacks.
Oh, I didn't take it as a callback. It was like, oh yeah, she sure is a tsundere. Okay.
Yeah.
It's also the elements of Symphonia, which I don't want to talk about because it's a spoiler for Tales of Symphonia, and maybe somebody hasn't played that and wants to.
Yeah.
So I won't talk about how there's spoilers. You know, there's parallels between the two.
Yeah, I've seen the coffee scene.
Oh, I didn't even fucking think of that element of it. It was a different element I was thinking of.
It's hot.
I do.
It's
I do
cold.
wonder if there's.
It's
I
hot.
do wonder if there's a callback. If there's a callback for the to that event in a skit or something at some point, where it's like you're eating burning hot food. I was like, oh, I didn't notice. Except he can taste, so I guess that probably can't happen.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I felt about the cast until I got later into this, and they started having stupid things. Where Alphen, the protagonist, is like, yeah, I'm training. I tied a bunch of rocks to my sword, and then they all break off and destroy their camp, and everybody gets mad at him. And I'm like, okay, then now we're at what I know.
Yeah, you need to write a certain amount of stupid into it.
Yes.
And I like that the Tales of franchise, that usually works fine. Like, they have a tone where that can work. I just keep thinking of Scarlet Nexus, like, this tone didn't work at all.
Yes. Also,
I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed insanely hard when it's like, do you want to bond with one of your party members at the camp? And I click it and it's like, oh, it's a 30-second long cutscene that you do once.
Yeah. The skits and Tales of are a lot more logical than the insanity that is Scarlet Nexus.
It didn't take long for me to become convinced of this party. As soon as you get the mage and her bird has the little tiny owl named Hootle. And I'm like,
Poodle is by far the best Tales mascot. Most of the others are really bad. Like you have Berseria has like Morgana, but worse.
Zillia had that weird little floating doll thing.
yeah, Tipo.
Yeah, Tipo, and Tales of Abyss had like something similar to Tipo that has like a diaper. I'm like,
Yeah, I like Hootle a lot. I was slowly turning around on the skits as I was getting more of them, but then I went full on when I had a skit that Hootle was in. It's like, oh, he looks in the same direction as Renwell does, and I'm like, look at him. He's in the conversation too. He's participating. They have like a lot of really good slight presentation stuff in skits now. That's pretty nice.
Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say about Tales of Rise before we move on?
I'm good.
No.
Okay. Bob, did you play anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay. KZ, did you play?
I played Blinks the Time Sweeper for the internet.
Oh, Blinks the Cat.
No, it's Blinks the Time Sweeper.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Blinks the Cat, because when anyone names a fucking mascot, they name it Sonic the Hedgehog, Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat. I don't know why you name it Blinks the
Bandicoot.
Yeah, well, I didn't play Blinks the Cat. I didn't play the animal. I played the video game called Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It's the worst game I've ever played.
Oh, okay.
But you played Vampire Rain.
Yeah, and I apologized to it while playing this.
Oh,
No. When he was 8 hours into this, and people in chat are like, how is this compared to Vampire Rain? I'm like, I'm looking at this. No.
So
Vampire Rain's bad.
So here was my main problem here, Bob.
Okay.
people suggested it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that meme Xbox first party title.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley loves this game.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I'm like, sure, why not? We booted up. I met with the logo for the developer Artoon, and I went, they made Vampire Rain. What? Oh no. Why am I here again?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I assumed you knew that, and that's why you put Blinks as a.
That's what I also thought. I also thought this was intentional.
No, I did not know I was directly walking back into hell. But then you get started, and one of the first things I notice is I'm like, this is the exact this walk cycle feels like Balan Wonderworld immediately. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know if it was clear from the way Blinks moves way too slow.
No, I didn't get I didn't get that from the footage at all.
It feels almost identical.
Like, guys, I played like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It really does feel even worse than Balan.
Yes.
That's insane.
So
How could these people are insane?
Everyone who formerly worked on Sonic the Hedgehog back on the Genesis is in fact a convict.
It's like their Scarlet Letter.
yes.
It's just like, so was there some early version of Vampire Rain that is as difficult as Blinks, where it's like, no, you also have to do things in the perfect optimal order or it's impossible. And then they're like, no, we need to, no.
Most
We
of
can't do this
Vampire
again.
Rain is doing everything in a specific way because it's a puzzle box, like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
The only difference is toward the end of the game where they're like, the vampires are also have guns now, so you have to like quickly snipe to pick them off.
I think the best way to go about talking about Blinks, the time sweeping cat, is to talk about the structure of the level, KZ, because there's never been a 3D platformer so incorrect in its structuring of a level.
Well, first I'll tell you the story of Blinks the Time Sweeper, a game with 2 cutscenes in it. You get the intro cutscene and then the final boss cutscene. In the intro cutscene, they reveal that Blinks is a part of the so-called free thinkers because there's like 100 Blinkses that are like different colors. They are literally the time sweepers because they use a vacuum.
Okay.
Pigs that wear 3D glasses have invaded and fucked up the time stream and kidnapped a human woman that Blinks showed hearts to. So he's clearly attracted to. You go on an adventure. This is a level-based game. Every world is called like a stage, and there's like 3 traditional levels, a shop in the middle, and then a boss.
Do you get to like choose what order you go in or something? No. Okay.
No, you just progress.
Oh.
Now I've never known what you do in a Blinks game. Now I do. You go into a level, and they're like, defeat 10 time monsters. You must now go through the entire level and kill every single enemy, and then the goal will open. And then you hit the goal, and then you're done. This means that in levels that are long and winding, that are very difficult to backtrack in, if you miss an enemy, you have to go back.
Oh no.
Or die.
Is this Shadow the Hedgehog?
Honestly.
Yeah, I guess in the same way, yeah, which was like a holdover from the Chaotix mission type in Sonic Heroes, where they're like, exterminate those enemies. So it's that they have like a checklist. You have those time powers. Now, this whole time I thought it would be like a very freeing experience, and no, it is the worst way you could have implemented this ever, where you can collect little icons on the map, and you can hold up to 4 before it like resets. To get a time power like pause, or rewind, or record, you need to get 3 of the exact same one. And if you don't, and you get two of 2 different types to do that for, they disappear and nothing happens. And they go.
This is an Inti Creates mechanic.
Yeah, and then they say bad combo on the screen.
And these things don't respawn, I take it.
They don't, but they stay forever. So if I kill an enemy and if you drop, I can go back there 8 minutes later and pick them up.
And here's a few clarifying things real quick.
Okay.
KZ, correct me if this number's wrong. There are like 5 or 6 different combos possible because your retry is different from your rewind, which is confusing as shit as an audience member.
Okay, yeah. The powers are like rewind, pause, record, fast forward, slow motion, and
pause.
Oh my.
And yeah, pause and retry, because your health is considered retry, so it has the same resource. Because Bob, Say I have 7 health. I beat a level. They don't restore it.
Oh, of course not.
It's a resource that I either need to collect in the world or go in the shop and pay the money for. Also, taking a hit, it's like, oh, I lost health. It's not health. You take that, say I killed an enemy and took that hit, well, now it's going to rewind the clock to before I got hit. Randomly. It'll pick a random time beforehand because it's never been consistent. So sometimes it'll rewind you and you'll get hit again.
Yeah. Because it doesn't have a very good set of rules to determine where to put you backward in time. So sometimes it'll back up just enough for you to get hit again.
Yeah, sometimes you're kind of like trapped, and then eventually it'll have mercy and go, oh, you've been getting hit too often. I have to rewind you a couple of more seconds backward. Imagine the Prince of Persia Sands of Time when you like fall and then you hit the button. It's just that for every time you get hit. So it becomes this thing where technically you have to do everything perfectly.
And on top of all this, so we have all these different gems you can pick up. And when enemies die, they drop all of their gems next to each other.
Of course.
And you need to get 3 of them the same type to get a single thing in whatever category.
Be very careful, like you're playing Operation.
And your cat seems to have some debilitating muscular disorder because of how it moves. And I was playing the ice level.
This is really sad. Looking up links from the outside, I was like, yeah, that's a neat looking mascot. You could make a decent game. I would love for them to have done that at some point.
Yeah, 2 different things they did immediately put me off of the game when I tried it years ago, and my God, does it get worse the longer you play on. This game is, for all intents and purposes, a third-person shooter. You're shooting shit at enemies.
Yeah, by the way, the concept of combat in this, Bob, is you have a vacuum, you suck up garbage, then shoot it back at enemies.
You don't have an aiming reticle.
Oh.
It is a soft lock-on based on proximity, so sometimes, say there's 2 enemies. There's one in front of you, and there's one slightly farther away, but to the right. If you look right, it will magnetize your gun left.
Yeah.
To hit the other thing because it's closer. Also, because of the way enemies work you don't have camera control as much, so it tries to swivel to the enemy. If you're surrounded, the camera just spins.
Yeah, the camera, you can control it with the right analog stick, but these geniuses had the idea of, well, we're just going to auto-move the camera towards whatever enemy's closest. And a lot of the times, you're in a room with 3 guys on 3 different sides of you. So while playing, it just kept spinning for me. Or I'm like, why is it doing this, KZ? And he goes, well, it's trying to show you all the enemies, one at a time, in order.
What a nightmare.
So these devs made Balan Wonderworld, huh?
Yeah, they learned how to make a better game by then, I guess. Yeah. Because holy shit.
This is the same level of this is really stupid. Why did you put this kind of thing in your game? And it's like, a child playing this level could see the problem here, and they're like, no,
that's what makes their game quirky and cool. It's like, no.
Yeah, these. Also, there's a problem with these time powers, Bob. For example,
you've already told me many problems. Go on.
All right, I used my power to stop time to be able to get past a door that's basically spikes that are trying to be like teeth, where it's trying to like open and close.
Okay, yeah.
I go in there. And I'm like, okay, this got me an optional thing, but also killed an enemy that opens a door back there. And I'm like, okay, I need to go across this door. I don't have another pause. I have soft locked the level.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
I soft locked this game through that over 30 times.
Yeah.
Because they expect you to either grind for powers or have some just by happenstance. Sometimes they'll like leave them in the general area to give you that hint. However, this is a system where if you're coming in with, say, 2 other icons before you get to that collectible, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because they'll get added to that one, and then you'll only have like 1 of that because of the way the combo system works. You can't drop collectibles.
This is the same sort of nightmare that those costumes are in Bland, but like a whole new level.
Oh, they're so much worse than that. And also they're like, at the start of the game, you can only hold 3 uses of a time power. And if you get another one, it just drops they drop an earlier one. So you can't even like control any of it. You have to like buy extension. I didn't know you could buy extensions for a while, so the game was extra miserable. And then the ultimate thing that seals the deal, and the reason I spent 2.5 hours alone on one level, after 10 minutes, you die automatically.
Yeah.
Just like a 2D Sonic game.
Oh, come on.
In a game where you move like a man who just filled his pants with bricks and shit, trying not to scrape his ass off completely with the bricks, shuffling slowly, taking on, what was it, 24 enemies on ice?
Oh, yeah, that one was 17 enemies.
In a level where you cross a breaking bridge. You have to make it reappear by rewinding time. You cross it, and it immediately spawns an enemy that takes 9 hits. KZ at this point could hold 5 ammo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unless you get the specialized bombs through the shop that cost money, you are going to be holding only 5 items. So many enemies take multiple hits. And they want you to do a combat room dance, Bob, where you hit an enemy, and it's like they are now invincible for 10 seconds. They're going to keep flashing.
Yeah, every enemy takes a huge amount of time to stop flashing.
Yeah. And they're designed to do annoying things, like a little orb dude that when he sees you turns into a spike and goes forward. He's invincible while he's a spike. Or a seahorse that after 2 seconds becomes an invincible tornado that if it catches you, it's faster than your run cycle. It will hold you in place for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
While other enemies can hit you.
Yeah.
And then if you get hit, you're being rewound, so you just kind of feel like you want to snap the controller in half, losing your mind the entire time. And then you hit a boss, and all the bosses are really terrible because they're like dodge for 50 seconds and then deal a hit. Imagine if a Rare game decided every boss needed 12 hits. And it has only one boss theme. I'll play it. Da, da, na, na. All right, now loop that forever. It literally was that, where someone's like, this uses the same boss theme as the other one. I'm like, did you think there was more than one? They got the composer of 3D Sonic games on this, and they only did like 20-second loops for almost the entire game.
This is real sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real sad. It's easily like the worst thing I've played, and I'm like, God, I need to go back into the kiddie pool of high quality 3D platformers like Rare and Nintendo. Because good Lord. The amount of times I keep playing these games that are like, your camera's inverted.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even I wasn't going to bring it up on the podcast, but I've played so many fucking old 3D platformers at this point recently, between Sly and everything else. I played, what was it, Ghost of Tsushima? And I keep pushing the stick right, and it looks to the right, and I go, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I know. I turned it and immediately went, oh, great, it's inverted, just like fucking tack. I'm going to kill myself.
I'm so deep in the tunnel, I'm broken.
Yeah,
where
I even put up Tales of Arise, like, this doesn't feel right anymore.
God.
Yeah, it's damaging.
I'm still at that point where it's not normal for me, but it's often enough that I'm like, all right, strike one. Strike one. But yeah, that was my experience with Blinks. A great game where you beat a level eventually, and then you go grind on an early game boss to grind for money so that you can get all your health back.
Fuck that. That's like fucking Star Tropics. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, also I didn't beat the game.
You didn't?
I played it for 17 hours, Bob, and they said, all right, the final boss is a boss rush where you have to fight 5 bosses in a row on 1 life.
What?
I only learned after the stream, they're like, if you die, you start over, but if you hit retry through the menu, you can retry that part of the fight. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare of a game.
Yeah. Everyone was like, wow, how did this happen? And I'm like, I don't know.
Microsoft needed games and didn't care about quality control at all.
And
hey,
then
we need to make a 3D platformer. We just got Rare. Should we get them to make it? No, they need to make Grab by the Ghoulies.
And how long to beat was wrong again, because there was only like 8 people that did that. And someone's like, KZ, you just keep picking more obscure games. And I'm like, do you know how fucked up it is that you said that about a first-party Xbox game? That's obscure? It's not like a
Did you check
thing.
out any Let's Plays? Or like, do those exist?
Yeah, I looked at like long plays and stuff, and those don't die in them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I found a long play that's 7.5 hours. The guy doesn't die.
Wow.
He barely gets hit ever.
A lot of times, if I don't die, Bob, it's that 2.5 hours, an hour and 50 minutes of it is I didn't die. I ran out of time. And they're like, do it again. And I'm like, that's another 10 minutes gone. That's another one gone.
So somebody posted in one of the Discords after the stream, significantly after, that there was an upgrade that unlocked at some ambiguous point in time that you could have bought to carry 10 ammo, but I can't even confirm that online. All I can find is that if you got 40 cat medals, you could get the legendary sweeper that lets you... Oh, wait, that's fucking 2, isn't it? But it holds 15 ammo. And I'm like, why is it like this?
And then the cat medals are an optional thing, like DK coins in the country games.
Yeah.
Something like that. Where I got some, but I definitely didn't get 40 of them.
Yeah, that shit's... The legendary sweeper's for 2, but someone was saying there was some way to upgrade to 10 ammo, and I'm like, that would be life-saving in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is there Blinks 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a Blinks 2 where you can create your own, and Blinks is a cool, edgy guy with a scar.
Yep.
Voiced by Quentin Flynn.
Okay.
All right. That's
and I'm
a
like,
choice.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess it's better than Bubsy.
Yeah.
Voice-wise. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Blinks. I just want people to understand how terrible that was. I'm not playing Blinks 2 because people talked at me about Blinks 2 for most of my entire stream for some reason.
How long was your stream again?
17 hours.
Yeah, it's not enough that you suffered, KZ. They have to know if you'll suffer more in the near future. It's like how Dragon Ball fans never care about the current antagonist. They want to know when Goku will be strong enough to beat the guy stronger than the current antagonist.
You gotta set your goals high.
Okay, well, I don't care about Jiren. When's Goku gonna beat Beerus? I'm like, why don't you let him beat fucking Jiren first?
Okay, I like this. I found the item that doubles the ammo capacity, okay?
Sure.
It says Sweeper Pack L doubles the amount of trash you can hold to 10. Buy as soon as you can. I'm like, yeah, in this nightmare game where they, like, I cannot stress how bullshit that fucking giant slime that takes 9 hits is.
It's not even 9 hits, Dan. It's like 14.
It's so ludicrous.
Like, if it was 9, it would be sane.
Like, it's like, once again, they're turning this game out at the same time Ratchet and Clank is over on PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
How insane.
This came out the same year as Kingdom Hearts 1.
Imagine Sora walking around like he had shit and bricks in his pants.
Yeah, I know. Now, that's a game with good platforming, unlike fucking Blinks.
This came out 2 weeks after Sly Cooper 1.
Oh, man.
After, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough. I still argue this isn't a platformer. This is a fucking third-person shooter that forgot to add a reticle.
Oh, man.
There was some other thing that I was looking at Xbox games, and I'm like, it came out right on top of this thing that is insane for them, to like, I feel bad for anybody who got this when they were a kid,
right?
Because it came out. What was it? Like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger came out 2 weeks prior to on Xbox also, and I'm like, that game is so much better. That game is so much better. It's like, you can't even imagine a first party game. It's like, yeah, it's just worse than every third party game in the same genre.
Yeah, low rent third party game in the same genre. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like, I can't imagine that Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex is worse than Blinks the Time Sweeper.
It is not. That is the fourth one, right? The first one being handled by... Okay, no, that is not great compared to 1 and 3 and whatever and 2.
Yeah, it was a bit too gimmicky, and the loading screens were insane because of that fucking bug thing.
But, like, come on, that's not even fucking comparable.
Yeah, it's not comparable.
That's fucking Blinks. Jesus fucking... did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, Casey?
Not for Blinks. I played Deathloop this week.
Okay, how's Deathloop?
Well, I wanted to find out what that game is because I wasn't able to figure it out through the 18 trailers that have been served up on a plate.
Pretty ambiguous.
God, please stop. I had to actually read those takes on Twitter, and I lost my mind.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, why did no one tell me what this game was like? It was like, they tried their best. They really did.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everyone's like us where we see every single one of those shows.
I'm just imagining somebody be like, if only somebody came to my door and told me about these Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't understand until now.
So I don't know if you know this, Bob.
Yeah.
In Deathloop, you're in a loop. You wake up on this beach as this guy. Colt.
Right. Yes.
And it has that the DMC thing where like words appear in areas and like the geometry, but instead of them saying fuck, shit, piss, they're like...
Sorry, Casey. We just call that the they live thing.
Okay. They have the they live text around the areas.
Okay.
But instead of it being cringe, it's normal things or sometimes conversations because you talk at them. One of the first things that happens in the game is use the code. He's like, I don't know a code. Turns a corner. The text says, yes, you do. Because they really play around with the fact that, yeah, you've been doing a time loop. At some point, you've just forgotten you were in this loop, so it started over. And
I like that.
And it starts like wacky. Like the first thing in like the first 15 minutes is you get saved by you.
Okay.
Because it's just another one of you is somehow still there. And in your there's a lot of back and forth between the rival character Juliana that's like talking shit about you, and it's about like figuring out what your place was on this island and this group Aeon that's forcing this loop to happen. And the entire crux of the game is you have to take out every visionary. There's like 8 of them, and if you do it on one loop, the loop ends. Otherwise it's gonna keep going. Gameplay wise, it's fantastic. It might it's easily one of the best games I played this year after maybe about 6 or 7 hours, in a way that I was kind of shocked how strong it feels. Because it has the powers and stuff, but unlike the other games Arcane does that I've been told if you use superpowers, the game becomes bad.
Yeah, no, it's just slap your wrist constantly.
It's not, like in Dishonored, it's like, you killed too many people with your cool badass powers. Now you get the whoopsie ending.
Yeah,
and
no, this doesn't have that.
That like the moment there's like, they just tell you to kill everybody. I'm like, finally, it fucking took them long enough to understand this.
Yeah, people are like, oh no, I might get too much chaos, and there's a screenshot of this game where the text appears on a wall saying, kill every last motherfucker. Because that's just the point of the game is just get in there and kill everyone. It doesn't matter. And you'll
imagine the main character just becoming Days Gone Man and just you're like, there's a rapist, I have to kill him.
He is kind of Days Gone Man in a way that he kind of just talks to himself and starts running bits and stuff. where he in the game, the concept is it's kind of roguelite-ish in that you're doing a new loop and it's like I lost stuff. But very early on, they're like, if you get this thing, you can use energy to put into a gun or put into a power, and you'll keep it forever. So every loop, you'll just have it. So there's constantly a progression. He gets his old gun back and then does a 2-minute long bit as he's running around thinking, what am I going to name my gun? Am I going to name it Colt Jr.? Why am I naming it after me? What am I doing? I think I'm going insane.
No, see how that has some sort of levity to it?
Oh, yeah.
It clearly can't be a Days Gone bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No. This is like a Days Gone bit if it was good and funny because the interactions are just really good. Like, the writing is, like, top-notch in this game where you're having really good exchanges with characters, and just his general vibe throughout is, like, real good. They take good advantage of the loop process. It runs a little bit like Majora's Mask, where there are 4 phases to a day. There's morning, noon, afternoon, and night. And whenever you go into an area, time won't move. So you don't have to worry about doing anything quickly. You can stay in a place for, like, 3 hours if you want. There's like a different district, and they usually have a couple of visionaries you can take out, but they only show up at certain times of day. So like there's one in this area that you can take care of, but you also have side objectives that can give you information on things. So maybe you'll learn, this person only opens up in the afternoon. So on the menu, you can decide before you go out, because you're in a hub menu that's the tunnels of the island. You can choose to wait until the afternoon, and then you can go do that thing you specifically wanted to do and take care of it. And it becomes fun figuring out what the routine is for these characters, or there's some level of a puzzle where they're like, I need to find out the code to this room. I go to another area at a certain time, and they go, okay, I'm gonna send this guy the code. at this time in this place. And you go there, and by the time they're there, that place has blown up. And you're like, oh shit, I need to do another loop and go there before it blows up to find out why it blew up to stop it. And then come back there later to actually get the code properly. That then leads. And there's a lot of rabbit hole stuff like that that's interesting. You can find crafty ways to take enemies out. Also, the map design is stellar. You can enter from so many different places in this game, whether it's through a window, whether it's going loud through the front. There's a bunch of stuff like that. The game is filled with stuff like turrets that you can hack, and then they can be turned into briefcases. So at one point, I got a briefcase, threw it on the floor, and activated it, and it just shot people in the middle of the room because they didn't notice me. There's a lot of really good stealth stuff that you can actually pull off in this game, and enemies aren't too bulky, so it doesn't feel like the combat is like hyper stressful all the time. At least, actually, I don't even think it has like difficulty modes to it, but it feels satisfying enough where it can be stressful. Once you're out of lives, the loop resets to the beginning of the day again. However, they added a quirk you have right at the start, which is you have 3 lives. So, and that resets every time the time of day changes because you'll move to a different district. So it becomes this thing of, okay, I can make mistakes so it doesn't feel like unapproachable, where it's like I'm not making any progress here. And thanks that you can infuse items with energy and pump stuff up, it doesn't feel like you're not making progress each time you do something. Even if you don't kill anyone or get a big objective, you've probably made your gun better. You've gotten some trinket that buffs the gun in some way, or you have some other perk and stuff like that. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to like the game as much as I am, where I'm like, this is really incredible in a way that I'm like, man, Sony backed a really strong game specifically for on this one.
Yeah. I also was not sure I would like it, but based on everything you're telling me, I'm like, okay, this is a lot more up my alley and sounds a lot higher, hard to describe, but a lot higher appeal.
Yeah.
Than I thought it was going to be.
I wonder if there's a way to hook up mouse and keyboard, because I know that the main problem with Arcane game is they just don't work on controller.
Like they feel stiff.
They feel real bad. Maybe this is a divergence from that.
Yeah, it's felt fine for me. Like auto aim and everything means I'm like doing real solid with it. Traversal's pretty easy. Like you get a double jump almost immediately, and you can use that as one of your perks. So like you're platforming and jumping up buildings effortlessly.
Yeah, you're not Blinks.
Yeah. Yes, it felt good to have decent platforming in a game. Looks good. It has all those DualSense features.
Oh.
So every step you can kind of feel it. It's a little bit more aggressive when you're running. The triggers feel slightly different depending on the gun. Like you have a nail gun that feels like you have to press in almost immediately, where you like feel the resistance very early. Some you don't. And your guns can jam if they're old guns, and then it fucks with the trigger a little bit. It's like, no, hit reload again to unjam it.
Now that Dan said that thing about Sony backing a big game, or maybe that was Casey.
That was Casey.
Okay. I'm thinking of the weird things I saw people saying, like, man, Microsoft's really bringing their A game. It's like, this game was mostly done by the time Microsoft acquired the company.
What are you talking about? Microsoft putting out another great game. I'm like, motherfuckers, this shit, they did nothing to this game.
They literally owned the studio that funded this game. Not even made this game, funded this game in the last, 5 months? When was it official?
What did they do? Buy them coffee?
What was it, February or something it became official?
Yeah, it was the first quarter of this year, I'm pretty sure. So it's like the last few months here where they're just like, we put a Microsoft sticker on the building.
And I'm like, there's a difference between Deathloop and Psychonauts 2.
Right. With Psychonauts, we literally got from Tim Schafer like, yeah, they're the reason this game actually is complete.
Yes.
Because Psychonauts
2 got to have 2 entire development cycles and who knows how much fucking money.
Yeah. You have no fucking idea. Yeah, that's a real stretch. I was going to say, when Casey was telling me about all this DualSense stuff in this game, I sort of zoned out. Like,
I know where we're going.
You don't know exactly where I'm going. So he's telling me about this, and my brain just goes on a trip. I'm listening to him, but you can ask him. I'm just staring into the middle distance as I go.
I saw it, and I was like, I know where we're going.
I was like, at this moment right now at Microsoft, someone's telling the engineer team, you need a controller with feature parity before we get this back in a year. We will not have a worse version of our own fucking game.
It's okay.
going
You'll
to.
be able to play as Cranky Kong.
I don't know. I want lanky. I want to see my arms freaking out and flying in every direction.
God, you're not gonna fucking die.
Yeah, there's no way Microsoft didn't go, hey, get that controller done. Because this shit sounds cool.
Oh yeah, I was shocked. Like everything about this feels like they really just nailed like every facet of this. There's like one other mechanic in the game is the one they promoted the most. Juliana, your Virgil, your rival character, will randomly show up and try to kill you. This can be in two forms. If you have online on, it's someone else playing the game. When you launch the game, you can choose to play the main campaign or straight up invade someone as a menu option. And then you play as her trying to take out other people to get stuff. Or if you're offline, it's just an AI controlled person, or you could lock it to only friends. And if no friends are doing it, it would be the AI. I think that's neat.
Yeah, that's a neat idea.
You get a lot out of it if you kill her. Her thing is because your whole thing of leaving district is you go back into your tunnels, you like hit the code, then you run in, then you're back in the hub. She'll appear, hack it, and just close it. And so you have to go to another area in the zone and like hack a radio tower with your hack-a-majig, which is just an L1 hotkey where you hold the button and it hacks whatever you need to like get access to the doors again and then run back. Or you can just like face her down. But yeah, this game's great. If it holds this quality the whole way, it'll easily slot itself in like my top 3 of the year. I'm pretty shocked at how good it is. But aside from that, that's all I played this week.
Oh, okay. Field, did you play anything other than Tales of Arise?
I finished AI the Somnium Files.
Oh, okay. It's time.
We're still landing on hack.
I'm gonna be honest, I saw one time where they made a line and you yelled hack, and I'm like, what? Not every line has to be suited for you.
No, I was yelling hack then because that was the line that was a direct callback to Zero Time Dilemma, and I'm like, you motherfucker, fuck you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm just referencing my work.
He was doing it to be a prick, and you know he was, because it's like the antagonist lecturing you.
Yes, I thought that was hilarious.
It was funny, but I'm still gonna call him hack. I really liked AI the Somnium Files. I thought it had pretty good music and really great emotional moments and a pretty hilarious cast of characters. It also just had a lot of stupid shit that I could see through time and see him writing this and be like, these two things don't totally match. Whatever. Who cares? Keep going.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. I'm still gonna call you a hack. You're a hack that produces entertaining work. But I'm still gonna call you a hack because there's a lot of people who write good work and don't have these problems.
I like it because it just sounds like you're heavy coping.
You disagree with me. You're coping.
There was a lot of stuff that drove me fucking insane at parts in this game where it's like, no, you motherfucker, you don't get to write that and then that.
But I want to.
But what if he did in Minecraft?
Yes, the fact that I'm gonna say that I like the game and I think you should play it. I'm gonna say a sentence that might have something to do in some capacity with the story of the game. I will not elaborate on it at all, and then we will move on.
Okay.
Do a Fortnite dance in Minecraft to defeat the Illuminati. So I played D-Blob.
Okay, that's cool. D-Blob.
Why would you do that?
That was a week. I don't know. I was like, okay, it's like $6 on PSN. I remember vaguely liking it when I played it on the Wii.
Oh, it actually came to something else. Okay, I thought you busted out your Wii to play this.
No, what is
No, never.
Yeah, right?
No, never under any circumstances.
Hey, whoa. It's the Wii, not the PS3. Come on, man.
Look, the Wii is setting up that sensor bar. God.
Yeah, the sensor bar sucks.
The PS3 has HDMI.
Okay, that's you win.
I think D-Blob is neat still. The there's definitely parts where it's like, oh, this sure was a Wii game you ported and didn't try very hard. One of your missions, the plot of D-Blob is that you're a blob of paint and you have to destroy the British government.
Yeah, sounds right.
And the British government, which is these soldiers, these little policemen, these little bobbies. They look like bobbies, like British bobbies, and they're one big eye like a CCTV camera. And have you seen the British Olympics mascot from a while back?
No,
like I forget the last time I forgot the last time they had it. That was just a camera. It was like you can't escape it. And that's what they look like, wearing like a little British police outfit. So yeah, they're fucking, there's the British government, and also everything's gray and emotionless. So you have to paint everything, and you soak up paint, and then you touch it, and then you paint it, and sometimes it's like, this has to be purple, this has to be blue, so you have to mix the colors. And it's really funny that they never say brown, even though brown's a color. It's like, paint these buildings the color of coffee. I'm like, what? Paint these buildings brown. Paint these buildings the color of soil. And I'm like, everything else is like, paint it blue, paint it purple.
I don't understand.
I'm like, you just don't want to say brown. You just don't want to say brown.
That's fucking weird. Is someone over there having a philosophical debate where they're like, brown isn't a color, it's desaturated orange?
No, it's just
or maybe it's just like brown is an ugly. Yeah, I imagine it's exactly what KC said. But one of the missions you have, like, it's like, you have to take over the British police station, get 30 yellow points and jump into it, because each like paint thing gives you 10, and that's how many objects you can paint. So you jump in, and it's like, oh, this was waggling on the Wii, isn't it? Because it's just mash the X button 50 times. I'm like, this sure was waggling on the Wii, wasn't it?
No.
Or you just shook that shit for 10 seconds.
No game on the Wii would ever make you just shake the Wiimote for an insanely long amount of time because they have bad ideas.
This game very much feels designed, like, even the way you move feels designed for the Wii, because you're like a ball and you have some degree of momentum. So it's like, it feels like it was designed to be controlled with that separate thing. Because it feels weird to control with like 2 sticks. Like, it feels slippery. I mean, I don't know. I don't hate it. It doesn't seem to be very long. It seems to be like 3.5 hours long. I'm like, okay.
I bet KZ wishes Blinks was 3.5 hours long.
I'd blow our tune right now. The amount of times separate people in my call or the chat went, I'm glad they went bankrupt.
The great evil is dead.
Okay. I don't disagree with them, but motherfuckers, you're not the ones playing it.
Oh, don't worry. I also said they should go to jail.
I know.
Security prison.
People need to. If you're not playing it, you have to be at least one stage lower than the person playing it.
True. I've had moments where I'm like at a 6 on uncomfortable, where some people in the call are like an 8, and I'm like, okay, calm down. Let's wait a minute.
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Maybe they can bring it back, and then you collect the wrong items, and all your power-ups fall out.
Yeah. I was a 10 for a very long time in this game, and I'm like, you guys aren't mad enough for me.
But yeah, D-Blob seems neat. I only play. It seems like there's only like 7 levels, but they're half an hour long each, because you have to paint everything in like 8 city blocks.
30-minute long blanks level. Ugh.
Yeah, KZ, except you have a really gentle time limit and nothing's really that threatening.
Oh.
And you move kind of fast, and you can absorb a bunch of paint. You're like, I painted everything purple, and I'm a giant purple ball. That's pretty nice.
What if you had a video game where every single time you had to slide down a ramp, that, you know, you do those in video games all the time, it's a fun little slidey section. What if the front chunk always broke off, so you would fall in unless you used a time power that you might not have?
You know, we didn't even talk about the parts where the game severely glitched. It had so many legitimate problems.
The parts where it freezes for 2 full seconds, making me think that it crashed?
Yeah, I thought it was his stream, Bob. I thought KZ's capture card was having problems.
The Series X just can't handle it.
No, it's
too powerful.
It's just hitching insanely long time. There are also times we clipped through walls, we clipped through floors.
Yeah, one time I clipped through the floor and died instantly.
I was going down the slide one time and the door was closed and he just went through the slide and went to hell.
I look at you and I go, what did you do?
I'm like, I fell.
It's over.
Is this game 4K on Series X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
it's like Xbox One X enhanced.
Yeah.
And I got it off fucking Game Pass, and I'm like, this is sharp. I definitely didn't need to see the cat look like this.
Yeah, the teeth is
So-
Dude, every
so
time he
few.
sucks something up, he does a big toothy smile, and I hate it.
it's so
few of these games. There's like so few original Xbox games backwards compat in general, and many fewer that are 4K on Series X.
Yeah.
But Blinks has to be one of them. Fuck you.
because they
I
have
don't have anything else to say about D-Plop.
Oh, okay. I guess we should talk about the Pod Lord.
Oh, the Pod
Oh,
Lords?
fuck, it's the Pod
Oh,
Lords.
fuck, D-Pod Lords.
I like those guys.
I like those guys.
I like those guys. Yes, that's right. Those guys. Those guys such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Neo Brazil Muito Real.
Okay.
Let's go.
You're going to Neo Brazil.
Oh, no.
Red Blaze 27, OSHA compliant Juice Frost, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero, Shiba Yagato, officially licensed Sly Whisperer since 2006. The jail cell Naoto Oshima should be serving a life sentence in for the crimes of founding Arzest and Artoons.
Yeah. Truly. Fucking Satan. Satan made those video games.
I look.
I like how there's still art items. Like, no, he can do character design, nothing else.
Here's your Cintiq.
He's like the villain from the second season of Beetleborgs who is in jail for making evil comics.
What? Okay. Well, we are learned something today.
Yeah, I kept going back to fucking that phrase you said during a fucking death stream of Satan made this video game. Anytime it was too much.
It's even if Satan Lee wasn't directly responsible, definitely a strong influence.
He didn't stop it.
No, Dan, like so fa mi rado. I'm gonna keep this up. I won't lose this battle. You don't have a microphone. 101 Shades of Wonderful remastered.
Oh, I finally get that bit now.
Yep, and this is the battle we've silently been having
Holy
for
shit.
weeks straight.
Yo, that's cruel.
Daily pics of Guan Busey from the Mortal Kombat 4 arcade cabinet.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm down for Quan Busey.
That's intense.
Is he spitting?
I don't know how he would do that through his fucking teeth.
I don't know. It looks like there's some saliva buildup in there or something.
He's just very
He's just
shiny.
seething. He's seething because Raiden fucked up again.
WTF Spider-Man. Passing down the light of the torch to guide you, and you shall be bathed in light. The invincible rainbow arrow. Modern Mage. Now that Feel is finished with AI the Somnium Files, it's time for Dan and Bob to get on Uchikoshi's wild ride.
no thanks.
Play that one and none of the others.
DFW3K. POV. You're about to be repeatedly kicked until you fly off the edge of the map.
Oh, yeah, you just have a kick. It's really good.
Does it have like the Duke Nukem foot type thing when you kick?
I don't think it's exactly
be-
like
that
that,
would be
but it
incredible.
still
Does it have
feels
that
good
energy?
when they scream.
Deacon Days Gone, champion of the Horde.
Deacon Days Gone is like, yeah, I'm watching the What Would War Chief Garrosh Do video. Yeah.
Kristen. Bentley Berry.
Ugh.
Boink them all.
It took me a second to realize what I was looking at. I'm like, isn't that just Bentley?
Right?
Isn't it? Isn't it? Santi Kunai. Travis Touchdown versus new Raido Kuza Noha Switch Edition. Oh God, I forgot to change my Podlord name!
Oh no! Panic!
Kyle Bjork. Zilter. Clearly, you've never played cult classic Mother 2, or as you plebs know it, Earthbound.
God!
Iron Aggro. Bligda Blue. Schligged is Boo. Battle of End Credit Dance Numbers. World Parade versus Rainbow Arrow.
Please don't talk about Invincible Rainbow Arrow.
Monster Hunter, Ryzen and Raiden. Corn Fused.
Okay.
Confused.
Help.
Got a little bit of Yara Naika going on.
Why?
Pray is a religious term. Runes are magical and guns fire in straight lines. Hugo Martin's in danger. Robin to the Batmobile.
They're gonna get nominated as a duo at the end of the year.
I know. Best team up. The Monkey's Paw. See you in news.
The Monkey's Fist.
Oh man,
the Monkey.
TFW Deltarune Chapter 2 on Friday. It's the same picture from that other Podlord. It's just the same person.
Oh, okay.
It's the same. It's Barney's daughter.
Mildly different face.
Yeah, big fans.
Anime equivalent of Homer Simpson appearing from the hedge.
I don't even know what this is from.
I
but
don't,
okay.
but I like the face.
Dan when he plays Shiba Yagato and paneled upon.
Oh no! When are you gonna draw the last piece? That's pretty much how it goes.
Yep. It was a really good time during that, like, 2... Oh, God. How many hours was that, Bob? 3 hours of paneled upon?
It was probably only 2.
That's Tetris Attacks for you plebs. Where I just go, and we're starting the round. That's a 7, and you will never see that again tonight. That is just not happening.
That was fucked up.
It was. That was incredibly fun. Funny little dog having their funny little stream proceeds to biblically smite the internet's upcoming weekend.
Oh yeah, he fucked everybody. That little being of chaos.
I don't know what anyone expected, but okay.
I didn't expect 2 days. I expected a week.
Bob,
I'm gonna be honest. I expected after that stream.
Yeah, I expected the day of.
Bob, these are the same people who went Deltarune. What's this new and exciting thing that has nothing to do with Undertale?
What do you mean? It's a 4-hour full game with a super boss in it.
Zastarder. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Someone updated their fucking thing, I swear, or somehow I didn't notice the nightmare that is this Podlord last second fucking edition. Oh my
boy.
What a I use the term "what a nightmare" for Podlords a lot. This is this goes a little beyond that. Demurray. Where did you find this? Is this an image for the movie?
It might be just for 4.
I don't know, dude. Look at
No
that.
way.
That looks like it's an AI portrait. That's how horrifying that is.
Maybe it's like something in the background of some shot in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
What if that's in PlayStation Move Heroes?
That would be, oh no. That would be so bad. I don't need this.
The dude looking like that with a Carl Run cycle.
Oh God. That's a lot to deal with, my man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking. That's the movie. That's the movie.
That's what I thought.
The canceled movie, Murray.
I just did not look that close at his face because why would I?
Yeah, I thought the top of his head was even smaller in the movie. That's why I didn't think it was that.
Oh God. Soon I can no longer Podlord. I now have a house.
Oh.
I'm like, I'll miss you.
You have a house.
I'll miss you.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
what's with this cardboard standee of Doug Walker? Maybe I don't know.
Well, now they have a house.
That-
So they can put it. They have foot there.
These are good furniture.
Aren't you glad I didn't get one of those?
Oh yeah, no, that would have been genuinely terrible.
Yeah.
Indigo Sykes. Alatos Diogenes will punt baby Foo into the stratosphere. Oh, fuck. The Kidney Lords. BN12. Evil Lucario. In this house, we stand a real queen, Kim Petras. A raccoon that is giving his friend firearms. Oh. They will now commit war crimes together. Do it. My grandmother once said, sickness occurs because of the food.
I'm really enjoying this bit of just dropping Kamen Rider Kabuto quotes on us with relevant pictures.
Aspiring Bimani ambassador Shinji16 wants to remind you that you matter, you are valid, and you deserve to be happy. I slammed my penis in the car door.
Oh.
Oh, I've wanted that one for like months, honestly. Or I'm like, man, if Dan said that.
Maria Kondenzovna Eve.
What is she doing? Oh, okay.
She's not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't need to be defined by what she does.
Oh, okay.
So shut up, Rachel.
God. Fuck you, Dan.
I see you possess knowledge, Arcane, but the riddle number 3 will rock your brain. Blizzard apologized by making characters gay. This guy chose to lie about severance pay.
I know the answer. I hope
does. Big riddle.
Truly radical.
Oh, man. Shit. Wild Logan Roth. Wild old man Logan Roth. There you go. Virmvarm. Oh, and Virmvarm's like... and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when the format of those shows cruelly does not allow us to reveal everything we prepared, and a Patreon exclusive show where you get to vote on a good or bad thing that we watch that month and then produce a podcast about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
We got some late breaking news.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to get into first. Castlevania Advance Collection is now rated for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC in Taiwan.
Yes!
This is the 3rd time it's been rated. First time was Australia, June 18th, then Korea, June 25th, and now in Australia as multi-platform. Now Australia and now Korea. And now Taiwan. This is happening next month.
This is exciting.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
October.
yeah.
Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, October's like they got to. It's Halloween.
They got me. That's our stream.
Yeah, I assume there's gonna be like
We're gonna do a whole
a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, absolutely. I need that platinum ASAP.
Welcome to
There's
our
gonna be a
Castlevania Advance Collection Platinum stream.
There's gonna be a Nintendo Direct, and they're gonna be like, it's out now.
See, it's good we got our practice run on Harmony of Dissonance out of the way earlier this year, Bob.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
You'll
was
know
like,
how to
what the
fill that
fuck do you
map
mean you're gonna
faster.
do all 3 at once? Like you just learned.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Harmony is gonna. We smoothed out the kinks. We're all good now. We got it this time.
It'll be fine, right?
It'll be fine. Always Sunny music plays.
If anybody but Dan said that, I'd be like, no, you don't. You won't fucking remember. I'm like, Dan probably will.
Yeah, no, I remember one of the most critical problems with that run, and I'm just like, damn it, next time.
Yeah, this is slowly warping into like those people that do speed runs of Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. No hit in one run.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Where like,
Yeah.
I got hit halfway through 2. All right, I'm going to start over now.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
Yep.
We also got a late coming in interview about Gran Turismo 7. They had lots of details about, unlike sport, you're going to have dynamic times of day and weather. Unlike Sport, they brought in really good car tuning stuff that was mostly made famous in 1 and 2. They also redid the formula for how competent your car is. I'm posting this picture of your car at the car wash because holy shit.
Yes, the car wash.
Look at this game.
Hold on. What?
It is incredible looking.
Oh my god.
This game looks so good, it's stupid.
I like the little man in the corner. It says learn more. Look at that guy.
That dude.
Oh my god.
I love his beard.
That dude looks like a Joel Haver character.
A little bit.
Joel Haver is critical to Sony first-party titles.
Yes, as we found out. They also
Oh no.
they put up this menu of courses to get your license test stuff. Notice they have the initial D car on the right. They have the 1600
Yes!
GT Apex AE 86 from 1983. I'm very happy. I am very.
Have you ever seen that picture with that car being demolished after a wreck and there was copies of Initial D in the back seat of the
No. No.
Why you?
This is so terrible.
Why do you have to say something so awful?
That's so fucking sad.
I really hope that this car wash will unrealistically spin the car in space.
That would be cool. Even as
Please.
just a cool buff, like feature
play the
wise.
song.
They posted a picture of the map in really nice detail. Yeah, that's really cool that they're going all out and it's not just icons on a map screen anymore. It's a 3D space.
God, I forgot that it's just a Civilization-esque map.
Yes, it's really cool.
It's so good.
Also, Bob, they confirmed what I was saying of the haptic triggers are going to give you, the adaptive triggers are going to give you haptic feedback for the ABS braking system slipping. So you're going to feel that shit as you hit the brake.
Oh my god.
It's going to feel like real brakes on how ABS systems work. And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm very excited.
This game's fucking me up. As a random anecdote that has nothing to do with the game, but everything to do with the game. The interview, by the way, is over on Eurogamer and also GT Planet. 2 different articles coming out around the same time with Yamauchi. Kazunori was asked as a last question, there's been a lot going on in the world over the last 18 months. How has that impacted the development of Gran Turismo? How have you been able to deal with that? And then he goes, and I love this bit, Polyphony Digital is a company that's run like family. And I'm like, yeah, cars and family.
Yes.
This is a peanut butter and jelly.
Dom.
And then the last... The actual last question, he goes, real life racetracks have been closed and the opportunity to go for long drives isn't quite there as it used to be. I wonder if you've been able to enjoy real life driving while all this happened, or whether you've been able to keep your love of cars alive somehow. Kazunori goes, actually, COVID gave me an opportunity to drive my cars more. I still drive on the Tokyo Expressway every night in my Porsche GT3.
Jesus.
I'm like,
Okay, Mr. Wang in midnight.
yes, right? I'm like, I gotta take a look at this fucking Tokyo Expressway, and yeah, of course, Wangun came up, and I'm like, God damn it.
This is one of those moments where I'm like, if I didn't care about your game, I'm gonna buy it now just because you're an asshole.
Yeah, they're talking about bringing back a lot of features. They're also saying this game's going to be much like Sport, really expanded with more maps and everything as it goes. There are only 3 courses confirmed to be fully dynamic so far, but one of those is Nürburgring, which is important.
It's important. I hate it, but it's important.
If you're going to spend 14 hours driving on a course, that better be fucking dynamic. When you go to race, you get to choose the multiplier of how fast time progresses on that course. So that way you can see the full day-night cycle during a shorter race if you want. That's the way they're making it sound. Yeah, they point out a number of ways this is better than Sport. So it's really exciting. They wouldn't confirm 120 hertz or VR stuff. They're not talking about that yet. But he is very... What's a good word for it? He's very insistent that the DualSense stuff is going to make this feel a lot better than it did on any controllers prior, and that they're able to do stuff now that gives you the sense of feedback and accuracy that you could only get with a steering wheel up until now. And I'm like, that's really dope, my man. Like, hell yes. I'm so excited for this fucking game. with that, I think that's both of my. Oh no, and then there's just the Sony tragedy of the week. What's up, Bob?
Isn't there something in there where it's like you can only play the arcade mode offline and everything else requires internet connection?
That's what people were saying, that the arcade mode is available offline. You need to touch online at all in order to do the other modes.
Yeah,
that's what came out earlier this week, but I didn't have time to look into that. But he did confirm that in this interview.
Okay. Yeah, that sucks, but...
Yeah, no, that does suck.
Yeah.
Hopefully they update it at some point to not need to touch the internet to do that. Look, if my internet breaks, I need my safe space, and that's probably inside a Hachiroku.
Yeah, why would you need to touch the internet? That just seems really strange.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Oh, right. They were like, we don't want people cheating.
Yeah.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Oh my god, that is never a good reason.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
it's always real bad.
Also, I don't know how well they're going to be able to keep people from cheating on PS4 because that system's kind of hacked open, but presumably the net thing will prevent that, but who gives a shit? One of the key features he talked about as an improvement with this is the load time. He's like, there's basically no load times. Like, it doesn't feel like a load time on PS5. And I'm like, yeah,
That is really great.
that's what I want. He's like, yeah, and so if you have a lobby with mixed PS4 and PS5 players, the PS5 players could get their free laps in while waiting for the PS4 players. I'm like, oh, this is going to be rough for you guys. That sounds fucking terrible. Good luck.
Is a person who doesn't even desire to play this game online at all, it's always frustrating to be like, yeah, we need to make sure people don't cheat. And it's like,
Yeah.
just segregate them online. Don't have anything involved with the single player story in that. It's crazy.
What almost, like, obviously this SSD is still great, but what's the fucking point? The point of it is reduced when I have to constantly ping this fucking server.
Yeah, I mean, it's reduced long term if, like, this is supposed to be a big installment in your franchise and your lasting legacy, and now it's dependent on your servers being up.
Yeah.
Which they do a good job of supporting their servers well after launch, but still, you know, 10 years from now, who knows?
So, Dan,
What's up?
this is like the newest entry in Gran Turismo.
Yes.
Their big racing franchise.
The one that skipped PS4, I swear.
Basically.
Hypothetically, let's pretend Sport does exist.
Okay.
When this comes out, are they just going to delete that one so you can't buy it anymore?
Probably not, because they're not insane.
Yeah, I don't think that they've even taken down 5.
Oh, that's weird. I thought it was the standard for your AAA racing games to just delist games after 2 years.
No, that's really, really bizarre that Forza keeps doing that. And, wait, I think I have 4 more days to remember to buy it.
No, I think you're down to 6 hours.
No, what?
Yeah, it's
We
really
have to
close.
hurry.
It's real close. I saw one of the accounts I follow tweeting out, yeah, you guys are down to like 10 hours. That was probably more than 5 hours ago. Oh, no!
Oh, my God.
No, I think it's gone already.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it was
already gone.
September 15th.
Fucking shit.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Man,
God damn it.
I guess you got to get a disc.
I'm sure the price on that hasn't skyrocketed for completely no reason at all.
I'd like to apologize to
No,
the
it hasn't,
audience
because
for
Xbox fans don't buy games.
God. I didn't mean to do it. I just was gonna make it funny. I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know.
You're
Dan.
apologizing to them, but I'm the one sitting here like, oh no.
They don't like when you're sad.
Looks like you can get it for $20.
Yeah, I could
Still.
get it for $20 on Amazon. That's fine. That's fine.
It's like I'm already sad for you, but I don't like making the audience sad, seeing you sad through sad.
Sad.
That's sad.
Sad.
GT7 coming out in March.
Yep, that's coming out in March. I'm excited. Wipeout Rush was announced for iOS and Android. It is a card-based racing game. They took down the trailer because people were so upset, but since IGN uploaded it, it's still up.
Oh my god! How many down sums do they have on the IGN trailer?
Enough to make me feel bad that IGN just uploaded a trailer and got shit posted, like shit kicked. Because you know that affects things,
right?
But here, let me type it out. I'll check it out now. We'll take some guesses. Wipeout Rush IGN. Okay. Here we go. Bob, how many likes to dislike? Give me a ratio or a percent. Do a percent. What do you think the percent of dislikes is of total likes versus dislikes?
I think it's going to be 80%.
Okay. KZ.
91%. Like, even it's gargantuan.
Feel.
It probably doesn't have that many, so I'm gonna say like 70%.
Okay, Bob wins because he said 80%.
Damn.
It is 77% of the likes are dislikes on this.
I feel like if they had left the original up, or if this had been at like some sort of event, it would be like 98.
Yes.
100%.
If that was at the PlayStation showcase,
This was shown off to a large amount of people, it'd be like 1 million dislikes.
if that was at that showcase, Dan would have given that show a 6.
That is... Look, I like Wipeout. It's fine. I've never been soul-bound to it. In fact, I like Fast RMX a lot more. But I feel bad for Wipeout fans.
Yeah, like I feel like that's one of the weakest sci-fi racers I've ever played, but I understand people like it.
Yeah, some people like it. I don't understand why they like it, because I play it and I don't think it feels good, but they deserve better, because that game's gorgeous.
Yeah.
To see it reduced to this card-based racing game.
Hard-based
On
racing
mobile.
game.
It sounds like you don't even play the race. You like do things to affect the race.
Yeah, you watch the race and then do puzzle game card-based stuff at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Sony was thinking, but that was announced and then the trailer was taken down and no one's talking about it now. So who knows? Maybe that will be never seen again. We'll just have to keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, KZ.
Yeah.
You got some pretty good news. Let's go to that.
Sure. Starting from the top, I guess.
Sure.
Deltarune Chapter 2 is out by the time this comes out. It came out this coming Friday, September 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, cool.
That will explain why the whole weekend, if you use the internet, was filled with weird creatures saying incomprehensible things across your Twitter timeline.
Yes. They revealed this during a stream in which Toby Fox and 4 dads played Deltarune Chapter 1 for some reason. They all left. Toby Fox is a sprite of the dog from Undertale using a text-to-speech program. And then the Play Chapter 2 menu appeared, and the little dog on the couch started moving very slowly after 4 or 5 straight minutes of nothing. And then turned it on and revealed this. I can't handle the stupid fucking dog.
Can you tell how much Toby Fox likes Earthbound? Because it's like, wait 4 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So I'm glad that that's finally coming out, because I know he's faced a lot of challenges. Like, he has like insane like hand injuries and stuff that's made it hard for him to work and do anything. Like, he's like slightly crippled with that.
Oof.
Yeah. So things have been a bit challenging for him. So I'm glad he was able to slowly get a team and get that working. Next up, Dying Light 2 got delayed to February 4th.
What was it before?
This year.
Oh,
Sure.
I was never under any delusion that it was this year, so this is meaningless to me.
I feel like there have been 2 other games this year. It's like, yeah, we have to delay to next year. It's like, you were coming out this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's been happening for over a year now.
Yes.
I feel like COVID only enhanced that,
Yeah.
where they're like, I'm sorry, sweetie, Christmas isn't coming. And I'm like, it's June. Christmas wasn't supposed to come for 6 more months.
Yeah, I thought it was especially funny because it's like they were on a fucking show like a week and a half ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember us being like, oh, that was the only thing that showed up at Xbox show.
That's true. Oh, my God.
This happened to Dying Light again. This happened to Dying Light 2 twice, because it was announced for spring 2020. Mm-hmm. And they're like, and then in January they were like, it's delayed until we don't know when. And then I guess they gave it another date, and it's like, it actually was delayed until another year.
Well, good. I'd rather them delay it and it'd be better.
Yeah, I will never complain about a game being delayed.
I mean, look at my experience with Returnal, right?
Yeah.
The shotgun wasn't balanced when it came out, and now things seem to run a little better, and there's some variety shit in there, and I'm like, I played you for a shitload of hours at launch.
It may not cause an entire system-wide crash.
We don't know. You should install that new SSD.
Oh, no.
Back to Returnal.
We have a new PS5 firmware.
Oh yeah? What does it offer that I'm excited about?
Let's see. The PS5 and PS4 games are properly labeled now.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty cool. M2 SSD expansion's finally here.
Well, that's good.
So we'll be jumping into that. We got, most importantly, better trophy tracking. It's fucking vertical now.
Thank Christ.
Also, you can like track like your top 5 trophies and like put them on a little sidebar.
Yeah, it's really neat.
That's great. That's a really good feature.
Yeah, better share options. Now you can like, when you want to cut a clip, there you can save like the last 1 minute or 3 minutes. Those two options just didn't exist before. It jumped from 30 seconds to 5 minutes.
Yeah, that shit always drove me insane. I'm like, I have a 40-second clip.
Yeah,
Right.
That was everything I wanted a clip of in Days Gone.
Yep.
Yep.
It was like, I don't want to save 5 minutes. That's a huge pain.
Yeah, it's very hard to cut with that because the video editing options on PS5 aren't very good.
Yeah, they're clumsy as hell.
Yeah. It's like kind of shocking how like not great it is. But yeah, it's a bunch of stuff like that and a bunch of little improvements like adjusting things on like your task bar in the control center and whatever. That's good. I'm glad that's finally out.
Yep. Me too. Jesus Christ. Now, if we could just get the variable refresh rate,
Yeah.
PS5 OS can stop being a meme of disappointment. Bob,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, Microsoft was like, check out our TGS show. We're going to have exclusive content.
Okay, cool.
This week, Microsoft says, expect a celebration with our Asian community and locally relevant updates, though no new global debuts should be expected.
An empty room.
What? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, they literally were like, actually, don't be excited, please.
We should have a new rule about even mentioning a Microsoft event before it happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, it's funny when this happens.
Except for now,
Expect a celebration with our Asian community.
There's a fucking big thing to mention where Casey goes, yeah, everyone's having a big conference this month.
Yeah, but I say it with like an energy of like everyone's got a big show, even Microsoft. They got exclusive content. So I'm saying in that tone of it's gonna fucking suck.
Something about the Asian community part of this quote just sounds
It's
weird.
Itagaki drunk showing up to beg them to buy him.
You remember Dead or Alive 3 and 4?
You remember Ninja Gaiden?
Come
I don't
on,
have anything
I'll
to do
make
with that
Devil's-
anymore,
I'll make-
but
Devil's Fourth?
Yeah, Devil's Fourth. I'll make Devil's Fourth.
Please.
Yeah,
I'll make
honestly,
Devil's-
if they bought his studio and announced Devil's Fourth, that would get the most positive reaction out of me and Bob. Microsoft has done this.
they could just port Devil Third and it'd get a more positive reaction than basically
That
something
is
they've
the
done.
only Microsoft CG trailer I will allow. Is if it's Devil's Fourth and it's clearly a $15 million CG trailer.
And
It just exactly looks like the original Devil's Third trailer, but insanely budgeted.
and we need a protagonist who's voiced by Gene from fucking No More Heroes, aka Knack.
Yo!
I'm like, I want to hear that voice actor say some stupid fucking lines. he
Right
fucking
on.
wrote. That is extremely disappointing, Bob.
Okay, I got more extreme disappointment, at least for me.
Yeah, that sucks. Go ahead.
Someone from Platinum Games did an interview about World of Demons.
What is World of Demons, Bob, for people who've forgotten?
Their iOS game was an Okami-like art style where you play as samurai and fight demons.
Oh, was it good and cool?
It was good and cool. I
Wow.
liked it quite a bit. It was the most exciting thing that Platinum put out in a while. It ends with a to be continued screen. This interview, he says, we don't plan to do any more content.
Oh, I thought they put out something past that. Oh no, it bombed. Oh no.
Yeah, it's real dire.
Why can't they hold a single W?
I don't know. I don't get it. I was like, well, clearly this is just going to be updated later. There's no indication that this is different from any other chapter that has ended, other than there is no new chapter that unlocked after it says to be continued.
Apple didn't want to pay for more.
I guess. Ugh. And I got one more piece of news here.
Okay.
BloodRayne 1 and 2 revamped.
Capital V.
Yeah, capital V. And they're coming to consoles this fall.
Wow, that's really soon.
It's really soon.
Are they good?
Of course not. These are BloodRayne games.
BloodRayne 1 and 2. Thank you.
My assumption has always been that BloodRayne is just a series of bad video games, but I've never touched them or looked at them. I've just assumed.
I played them on the PS2 and it was like, these are cool, but they're like really hard and bad. So
you buy them?
I might have to buy one of these again. We'll see.
It's a shame we're so busy with Metroid and wanting to do Infamous. Otherwise, we might have a stream goal about BloodRayne.
Yes.
BloodRayne month.
I need to know. Will they leave in the giant boobs cheat in BloodRayne 2?
They better.
These guys seem brave enough.
They're bringing back BloodRayne.
Right? Like,
don't pretend you're above that.
Right? Like, that's the only thing. But there's a good feature list on these. Like, I think they're re-rendering all the cutscenes at higher reses. They're doing AI upscales for textures, and they're running in 4K.
BloodRayne in my brain is in the same spot that the Underworld movies is.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that wasn't insane.
Yeah.
BloodRayne's a little more low rent.
Yeah.
We're being honest.
Yeah, just
it's like the bargain bin of that.
Well, thank you for the news, Bob. We're gonna go back to Phil. Hey, Phil.
Okay, let's run down these. Forever Entertainment, the developers of the Panzer Dragoon remake, is remaking Night Slashers, which is a horror-themed beat-em-up. One, I'm going to compare it directly to Streets of Rage 4 when it comes out. Two, that shit was sprite-based.
Yeah, that's weird.
We're in for a horror show.
Yeah, I was like, are they gonna do it in 3D? What's happening?
I can't imagine they would not do it in 3D.
Ugh.
So it's good. So I found out why GTA 5 sells so many fucking copies.
Oh, you figured out the scam.
Oh yeah, no, I've known this forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew this. I never knew this.
Bob
It
the
just comes with a
dealer.
shitload of digital items.
Yes,
So,
I was the
it's
dealer.
like-
You are absolutely the fucking dealer on this scam.
Basically, if you want the easy explanation, imagine if Epic shipped a physical version of Fortnite that cost $20 and had $60 of V-Bucks in it.
They do something similar to that.
yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
It's not as good a deal, but it's definitely like that's the idea.
But that's why I really just thought that GTA 5 was a massively popular game. Like, I was like, okay, I guess people really fucking love GTA Online.
See, my perspective's fucked because Bob's my best friend and he works at GameStop. Another dude I know, one of my friends, ran a GTA 5 machinima channel. So I've known for years that these numbers are drastically inflated because people keep rebuying the game.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that we found that out because I never didn't even have a thousand. No, I guess that game's just really successful, huh?
People really love
There's also the thing of it's almost always on sale, and people constantly are like, "I'm done with this game. I'll trade it in," and then buy it in next week.
Yeah, you worked at a GameStop, all right?
Yeah, that and Skyrim.
What?
We'll do the big thing last. Sega has said they're going to announce a new RPG at TGS. They provided no further information.
Didn't something about it being with Atlas come out?
I don't think so, unless that happened very, 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 very recently.
Weird. I would have assumed this thing was going to be like Yakuza Like a Dragon 2.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, it would be like Yakuza Like a Dragon 2 or Phantasy Star or another Sakura Wars.
Right. I thought it might be
something.
some grab like that, but if it's Atlas, that could be cool.
yeah, because they got their anniversary thing, and they're gonna reveal what some of the stuff they're gonna be putting out is.
I mean, if it's Atlas, it could be Vanillaware.
It could be.
Oh yeah, it could also be a Vanillaware title, or it could be that one fantasy game that they've been cooking for 10 years.
It's called Project Fantasy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the Persona 5 team moved on to. And there's now a new Persona team to replace them.
God of War Ragnarok will be the conclusion of the Norse God of War saga, and Cory Barlog basically said, yeah, this shit takes 5 years to make. We can't do trilogies anymore.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he literally went,
Which-
I don't think the story needs to be stretched out over 15 years and 3 games.
Which I don't think in that case, I don't think the conclusion of this story needs to be on PS4.
No, this is their PS4 Pantheon. Sorry. So the next Pantheon, they get to move on.
Yeah.
It's fine. On PS5, we're going to get our 2-part game where we fight Ra and all the Egyptian gods.
God,
That would be cool as hell.
Yeah,
that would be pretty raw.
Yeah, because it's gonna be fucking ray trace gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That would be really sweet.
I would love to see like someone else tackle Egyptian mythology. I feel like we don't see enough of that. Last time I can think of is Assassin's Creed Origins, a game I just can't bring myself to play.
Yeah, I barely got into that, so I'm like, okay, the only thing I can compare it to is the series of cards from Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's fucking go.
Nick All-Star Brawl said, "Yeah, we're really sorry they didn't give us any money for voice lines. We might get it as DLC," which to me says that if this game does even a little bit okay, more than they expect, then we'll probably get it. But damn, I still can't believe that they just didn't give them any money for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're hard asses about it. They got a dev that like really knows how to make like this type of game. Apparently, CatDog is a stance character. You enter cat stance or dog stance.
That's really good.
Which is, so clearly
that makes sense.
They have something with like really solid gameplay. They just Nickelodeon just needs to give them more money.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Like, not to be mean here, but like the very first Super Smash Brothers is framed like playing with toys, and that's what Smash Brothers is.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Without voices, it becomes like soulless and weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a group,
especially for Nickelodeon characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you played a Mario game and then Peach was like, "Hey Mario, let's go," and then Mario just stared.
And then it would be a Pokemon game.
Yeah, playing it with playing it with a group will be a little better, but it's still like really unfortunate.
Yeah. I feel like you're really missing an impact. Like I want to hear Cat from CatDog in this game. Shocking, I know.
Yeah, like somebody getting comboed to zero with SpongeBob going, "Bring it around town," and just repeatedly juggling them would sell you copies once that got posted on Twitter, but you don't get that now.
Them saying that at all sounds like they've already had those conversations and have been given the goal on like sales.
I'm glad that they are open about that, because that is a confident booster. I figured this was something we'd never see.
Right.
The fact that they didn't clam up on it gave me like hope, and I had zero. I went from like 0 to like 70. Here's hoping they sell a couple of copies.
Wow, 70. You confident on that number? You willing to make some insane bet on that number?
Not an insane thing of like, I'll tattoo a Digimon onto my butt like fucking Kyle Bosman or whatever he fucking said.
That shit's hilarious. I'm so excited for this game to come out. Complete the arc.
Yes.
Activision Blizzard is having formal complaints filed against them by unions to U.S. labor boards, alleging Activision Blizzard violated federal labor law via interrogations of staff and coercive rules, statements, and actions. Basically, if you talk to your coworker too much, they took you into separate rooms and basically threatened you. You're not trying to fucking start a union, are you? We'll kill you if you do.
Man, Activision
Every
is
2 weeks. Most there's something new.
Every week they're committing a crime and we're like, "Hey, stop it!" And they look over their shoulder, still committing the crime, going, "This isn't even my final form. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet."
And now, time for the biggest news of the week, probably.
Maybe.
The NVIDIA GeForce Games Now database leaked like a fucking sieve and apparently confirmed a shitload of games. NVIDIA has said this list is real, but some titles are speculative or theoretical, which frankly sounds like bullshit and makes me believe this list more. I will now run down them.
Okay.
Chrono Cross Remaster, sure. Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, sure. Final Fantasy IX Remake, which might just be another remaster, but they're doing a cartoon. They're doing that fucking Final Fantasy IX cartoon, and the last thing they did a cartoon for was confirmed a cartoon for was Legend of Mana, which also got a remaster.
Yeah.
Wait, are they doing a cartoon? Like, do you mean like an intro thing, or like
no? They're doing a cartoon series.
Yeah.
They're doing an anime for Legend of Mana, and they confirmed like a streaming cartoon for Final Fantasy IX a while back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's one of the weirdest.
Kingdom Hearts 4, I believe that's just probably not actually what it's called, but you know, it would be called Kingdom Hearts 4 in their database. Resident Evil 4 Remake, we basically know that exists.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6, Dragon's Dogma 2, we basically know that exists because it was in the Capcom leak that was true, or at least so far true. Monster Hunter 6, which obviously is going to exist.
No, they're done.
Yeah, they just had the two most successful releases ever. They're gonna stop.
I didn't need to be reminded of a PS5 Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Grand Theft Auto remasters, which we literally discussed like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
BioShock 2022, which we know exists.
They announced it already.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They announced it in the most.
We don't know
dry
anything
fucking-
about it yet.
We know
one of
fucking
those-
nothing.
They're like, we
Announcements.
made this studio to make a new BioShock game.
Mirror's Edge remaster, which is going to have RTX apparently.
Oh, that
That'd
makes
be-
sense.
that'd be cool.
Untitled
That aesthetic works really well with ray tracing. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Untitled Respawn game. Titanfall 3, which is apparently Apex Legends, and that's how they refer to it internally, which sounds like twisting the knife to
That
me.
is
Yeah,
fucked
that-
up.
that
How
hurts.
dare you?
That hurts real bad.
Tekken 8, which apparently there was some weird cryptic hints about Tekken 8 in that Sony music video. Because people
yes.
dissected that. And,
Yeah, that weird ad has shitloads of things in it. There's Sly Cooper references in that.
Yeah, I remember seeing
here's
those.
hoping.
I did not see the Tekken 8 stuff. Must be more cryptic.
the Talos Principle 2, sure. Crisis 4, sure. Batman Arkham Knight remaster, which will apparently be RTX.
Now,
sure.
wait a second. What Crisis 4? That's completely unreasonable. They just got done remastering 1 through 3.
Yeah, literally every one of the available modern consoles now. No way they're doing a 4.
No way, Jose.
XCOM 3, Injustice 3, Destroy All Humans 3. They did Destroy All Humans 1 and 2. Why wouldn't they do Destroy All Humans 3
Wait,
also?
we got a subtitle for Injustice 3 of Gods Will Fall.
That's the most confidence boosting thing you could have attached to that
Right?
title.
Title sucks. It has to be real.
Right? That's so DC.
Also, yeah, they're putting out a fucking Injustice anime movie.
my
So
God.
that's
I think it already came out.
oh my god.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, if not, it's real close.
Yeah, it's real close. So I could see them announcing it like, isn't the DC Fandom soon?
Yes.
I'm excited for that,
Oh
honestly.
yeah.
Yeah, they're almost certainly going to announce that at the DC
Oh
Fandom.
Jesus.
Sniper Elite 5, Cities Skylines 2, something called Fight for Middle Earth, which I have no idea what that could conceivably be.
It's a Lord of the Rings fighting game.
That'd be so funny.
It plays like
What if
Power
it's like-
Stone.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, no, see, my take is they got Namco Bandai to just make a Soul Calibur clone.
That's why that dude left. I was
No.
like, I don't want to make Lord of the Rings.
That's fucking. That would be hilarious.
What if this is just the next one of those Batman style games?
Yeah, the Mordors.
Yeah,
I'd be
Mordor.
fine with that. I'd be fine with that if it wasn't ruined by microtransactions. I kind of liked the first one.
Right?
Mortal Kombat 12.
How do you make that game look better?
I don't know.
How do you make that the same time as Injustice 3? Whatever.
I also don't know.
I assume this list goes out a ways.
Yeah, like this stuff seems to be forever. So some of it might just be completely, fake. Like they were saying, like we assume.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 remaster, which Activision did well, we can't announce anything at this time. Which this list calls debunked, but I'm like, that's not really being debunked.
Yeah,
That's more just
Why?
I mean, Activision just had leaked that they're doing a re-envisioning of Modern Warfare 2 next year.
Yeah,
So if anything, they missed by the wrong number.
right. I don't know why you would ever remaster 3. Like that one.
No one
No one
Yeah, no one
cares.
gives a shit about that one. I know that.
As someone who loves Modern Warfare 1 and 2, I don't give a shit about 3, and no one does, because the Black Ops guys, they like Black Ops more than Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
Modern Warfare guys stopped liking them at 2.
Honestly, Ghost has more like
Yes,
love than
yes.
Modern Warfare 3.
And Ghost is the one with the dog.
yeah.
But,
Yes,
but
it
see,
is.
that's the thing. It's also the one with the dog.
Helldivers 2, which was another thing that was apparently in that Sony music video.
Yes, and if I
I
remember
mean-
correctly, it did leak somewhere else too,
Helldivers is referenced in Astrobot.
which is kind of insane. But
Yeah, like that's a really weird pull for
Most
something
people-
somewhat modern.
most people don't even realize Helldivers was published by Sony.
Right?
Yeah, I only know that because I listen to Greg Miller's podcast.
Okay, I thought you were going to say because you're my roommate.
Right?
No.
And Half-Life 2 Remastered, which we know is real because fans are making it, and it's already been confirmed that it's like Black Mesa.
Oh, okay.
So it's like we're remaking Half-Life 2 in a more up-to-date version of the source engine.
Okay.
That's a little
And
bit
then it's
less
like, here's a bunch
exciting
of-
than what I imagined.
here's a bunch
for
of-
2 seconds. there.
Here's a
Yeah.
bunch of Sony games that are apparently going to come to PC at some point. God of War 2018.
Who saw that
course.
coming?
Horizon Forbidden West.
What? No way.
Gran Turismo 7.
What?
Returnal. Demon Souls.
What?
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
What? Good luck with
Sackboy: A
that.
Big Adventure. Yeah, I'm like the minimum requirements of that are going to be hilarious.
And it's going to be funny because there's going to be a lot of cope.
It's going to
and then and Ghost of Tsushima.
it's going to literally be like, well, you can play it, but there will be load screens.
You throw the tether, it pulls a black void towards you.
They should have optimized it.
Oh man. Yeah, seriously though, good luck.
The guy who made Toy Story on Super Nintendo said they could.
Yeah, and you can too. Just turn the resolution down to 720p and the graphics all the way to super potato low.
You should have just said made a torture device on the Super Nintendo.
That's true.
It's very good.
That's true.
And that's that. I 100% believe this list. I can 100% believe that Square Enix is like, yeah, we're just going to sell every single PS1 game back to you for $30 a pop. And I'm like, yes, sir, thank you. Can you give me PS2 games for $40?
You're really excited for that Samurai Legend Musashi thing, huh?
Oh,
Day one.
Yeah, I believe this list. I saw a lot of people shocked, like, why would a new Kingdom Hearts game be on this? I'm like, they just said that they're going to announce something next year.
right. Even if it's not actually 4, it'll be a spin-off that's basically 4.
Yeah, because they said we're not going to announce a new game this year, being our current year now, because we're waiting next year because it's the 20th anniversary of the series, and then I started turning to dust.
I've experienced so many 20th anniversaries, it just doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I know, but that one extra hit me.
I mean, to be fair, the Kingdom Hearts team seems pretty effective at making a game. Sonic doesn't.
Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm like, fucking serve it up, baby.
There are very few I was just going to say there are very few franchises that are still running
Yes.
that are managed as poorly as Sonic.
I don't know. Castlevania.
That's not still running. Well, most of the others had a hard stop.
No, that's true.
I don't
That's
know.
true.
You're going to get some sort of like remaster-esque port thing for advanced titles, and I'm like, I don't think that'll come out dead and broken.
Yeah, no,
Like
that's because
Sonic.
Castlevania is in the middle of their revitalization. But they died.
You just put into this world that could happen, and now my brain's terrified.
Well, I'm sorry. You're going to have to deal with that. Sonic will make a good game, then remaster it and ruin it. They ruined a good game.
Here's Kingdom Hearts 2, but every time you step, it farts. Anyway,
Good, they fucking deserve it.
$50.
Dude, that would be the funniest shit in the world. Imagine if it's only when Donald walks.
So I just need to tell KZ I'm now immune to time has passed ever since that The Matrix is now as old as Star Wars was when The Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the worst one.
I just want to say
It is the worst one.
I've always been curious how that must have felt. I didn't want to get jump stabbed in a mental alleyway with how that felt.
I don't know, that one that's like 20 years ago, Final Fantasy looked like Final Fantasy X, not Final Fantasy IV, was pretty rough.
That I can deal with.
That one is still rough.
It's a specific boomer energy that's always been out of touch with me for people who are like, I grew up with the original Star Wars films. And I'm like, okay, how was Phantom Menace? And they're like, To be fair, we're never going to get anything like the Phantom Menace ever again, because everything that's going to be a reboot or revival of a franchise will just be the first movie again. I hope as little time as possible in Resurrections is that. Because it's clear some of it is already.
I think that's only if it's super. Is it super? The most recent. The thing it ended on was super poorly received. Like I think The Force Awakens was only that way because there was so much hate for the prequels. So maybe we can escape that fate.
I'm trying to think of things that came back after a chunk of time that aren't The Matrix and Star Wars now, because I feel like there's a larger trend here, but
it's usually always like a shitty reboot or something that obviously was always going to be terrible and bomb.
Yeah, you don't really get this that often to be able to have a lot of
draw
examples.
A trend line.
Yeah.
It's just both of them are doing it.
Yeah.
Like Bill and Ted came back and was great. So
yeah, that thing's very unlike the other films.
Yeah,
It fucks me up how different it is, and yet it feels completely faithful to the characters in a way that's shocking.
Yeah, it really does feel like, yeah, this is exactly what you would do.
To some extent, the 80s movies felt like a fictional story, and the new one feels like a documentary.
I also like it because one of the daughters clearly is acting the same way as the woman in the Nutri-Grain bar commercial I showed you, where she just keeps stealing staplers and putting them into her shirt.
Yeah, the daughters are great in that.
Yeah.
Really glad that went well. Anyways, I hope at most 30% of that Matrix film is the Matrix 1 again. Because, oh my God.
yeah, we don't need more than
I
that.
just want to know.
I really don't.
I just want to know why literal normal pills are involved.
Because it's the Matrix, and he has to take the blue pill
Yeah.
to stay in the Matrix. As Neil Patrick Harris is like, how do you feel about my glasses? Worst psychiatrist ever. Have you seen his glasses, Bob?
No, I don't think so.
His glasses are blue and translucent, just like the pill.
Yeah,
Good.
and there's apparently a character with red glasses in the movie as well.
Yep.
Very smart.
Anyway, that's all the
They're gonna do
news.
a fusion dance and turn into KZ.
Oh, no.
I've got Doogie in me? Dan, what are you doing this week?
Laughing at that joke. And then moving on to thinking about Sly Force coming eventually. Keep an eye out. We might stream that in the middle of the week. Everything's insane. Hey, Casey, what do you got going on? Okay. Hey, Mr. Feel, what do you got going on?
I'll at some point either I've already started or I will start streaming Final Fantasy VIII remastered with a bunch of shit to make it look prettier, which a lot of them will probably look rough because it's AI upscale, but whatever. they already fucked up the models. I might as well further fuck it up. I'll be like, okay, now the backgrounds aren't blurry.
And
Good.
Super Eagle his face.
The most handsomest guy in town.
This guy at this party.
Are you going to do the optimal strategy of playing that game until you max your shit out?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be pro Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay, good. What's Pro Final Fantasy 9, Mr. Field? Shut the fuck up!
God damn
Yeah.
it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Thing to Mention. If you would like to support us, head on over to www.patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get extra podcasts and early access to our anime podcast, Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool. Head on over there and become a $5 backer or a podlord today. That's a pretty big podcast.
For you.
Hold on. I need a second.
Bob, are you Bane or Black Dynamite? This month's GigaBoots executive producers are Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Starfalcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Dobo Muito Real, Ace Gundam Pilot Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, Zilter, and Virmvarn. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these gamers. If you want to be a gamer or ascend to God Kinghood, then head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.